Enfamomra Ekosiisen Jumedi eso. Yadamunyana se matwen yama yakọ asan so ababi the kind to manim say ye free break ne ba lawyer Sammy Gyamfi CEO of GoldBod atnase ewo studio ha yene no e ba bedi enkomo se mohwe artwork na topic no a simple topic GoldBod at 1 the journey so far and mitremo earlier say last year by this time na GoldBod bill no ewo parliament ama parliament agya tomo anesa na twen so mampanyin e de ne signature ebe hyase ama GoldBod act no aba into full force. That act no gave birth to the Ghana GoldBod institutional Sammy Gyamfi eda ano. And they've been in operation for the past 1 year, and as you may be aware, a lot Ekosii over the last 1 year. And I also have taken notice of me share artwork no ewo me page, my monitor Asempa FM and so page the artwork no eto hono mo comment bebre na e wase no questions na mo bebre na ewo edema Sammy Gyamfi ebi ebusa about procurement issues akoso ewo Ghana GoldBod ebi ebusa about a car Ghana GoldBod reported by say Ghana GoldBod aboka wo go trading on the Bank of Ghana nin sensem bebre eno ho nsem ewo ho na nseya the Fourth Estate investigative report on the Babe Tuja FR sole sourced contracts on in the road sector. Lawyer Sammy Gyamfi a whole write up responding to some of the issues a war good kind of saying Fourth Estate report no emu nina ibebusa na ehonsem ewa ha, and once we deal with GoldBod at 1 ehonsem we will deal with all of those national issues and we raise issues about inti mon time kuchu na let's journey through this particular interview. Still our question 0548 443 523 a WhatsApp number and no 0548 443 523. Mumbe Brenanso sending me videos. Oh, Obi, Sammy Gyamfi ba bo video we mano. In some of my opposition, Bobby Emano any other. Your videos to be high bebo na yajena no eye ewasan semni na eho. Lawyer Sammy Gyamfi akwa ba ete saying.
Minia, unyame adom. Me ho ye pa.
Ekoyi.
Unyame adom. Ahoden wo ho. Enkwan wo ho. Nti yede aseda me nyame. Amamu no so Ekoyi.
NDC Amamui.
Oh, Yura John Dramani Mahama NDC Amamui. Ekoyi pa minim se wankasa obedi ho adanse ese. O man ni sika semwa by 2024 na agent srepe na omanfo wo ahokyere ne abedidie mu no. Enne enyema de nyema tutu yama nipa Ghana for wine ha omo pa nti nipa dodo na ebo aban na baso se na nyema abafom bukodwomu a utim se nyema abafom kama bibia in every sector utim se nyema abafom a omanfo nyina eni age yenwi adwuma ne de yeguso pemso se de akaso ye beye omampanyi oda wonna enam odo a o my Ghana for na America ka aka se bosha wo de show manfo udiso na Ghana sesa Ghana be krabere no mi wogidi mapase onyame adomti ebebem.
One of the major highlights of administration the creation of the Ghana GoldBod and only agency award no a CEO. It's been a year and Jumekwe Ebabebo say ya share our head the home commoder and all of that. But 1 year a milestone. Oshe Oko back the last 1 year. What do you have to report as CEO of the Ghana GoldBod?
Yeah, will be you will be you will be chere. It's answer unyame adom and Ghana for Mwentino. Edwuma omampanyi John Dramani Mahama de share mensa with the help of my supervising minister Honorable Dr. Casey Latofosen, One Ninuya on also Yan Jumapa, Honorable Amakufibu, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Yet to me, I achieve most of the milestones I had see and so. Say, ye na assessa Bruni say ya reset the gold trade sector of Ghana. Now, Obi, and Ghana GoldBod, aka enaka krebi na yedi afe. Yes. The GoldBod Act was passed by Parliament on the 29th. It was laid before Parliament for the final, on 28th of March. It was my birthday. And it was passed on the morning of 29th March. Yes. And 3 days after, on the 2nd of April, Omampenyi din Sasha Mrana se manebe yembra na ifiti asese ye implementing. Na you started na enough. And sakra na yitimi abeye mbra no na enough. It took a lot of hard work because no mampenyi pese nipa omo sika koko adwuma ni mu nyina no ye ne omo ne kabum eye GoldBod nhihye na opese wo de sector no. So we had to carry stakeholders on board. Until we kaya Omampenyi bo midi no anchekra na ye basunku bi technical committee. Say montwa kana fa na nyina enhihia civil society organizations, enhihia miners, enhihia gold traders. Na yenwen kwan a ye betumi eden sesamapa aba Ghana gold trade sector. Na ya establish Ghana GoldBod wa ebe champion of the change and the vision of the president for the sector.
In that sector. Yes.
So it started with a technical committee, stakeholder consultations in Yebia. Na unyamencha in record time from 22nd January Omampenyibo meeting by 2nd April. So less than 4 months, just 3 months and a few weeks. It was actually a miracle. We passed the GoldBod Act. Now her act as well is a very detailed act. And your act be just 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Very, very voluminous document. But many analysts, I can say, it will pass as one of your best modern laws, Parliament. It is because of the stakeholder consultations and of course Parliament, so the various subcommittees, finance, economy, natural resources, Alleges Collinzada Bebe will be Amichiano, civil society organizations in the Muninas, small scale miners associations, concerned small scale miners association, gold traders, yet there will be as some boy. Obi akadiaka because oyembrana na unwie afini ye ba be implemented and until you sound so adopted a consultative stakeholder engagement implementation approach ti you sound so bontoa any stakeholders ni nyina adwendwen ho enti the fiti ase license reforms so enti Ghana na GoldBod no na ye were very a chaotic gold trade sector, fragmented because omo gold no. we wanted PMMC would your man omo licenses moto gold. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources who omo licenses moto gold. Into which is which. So and our institutions need to gold no so no. Some minerals income investment fund almost so good for forex. Na Bank of Ghana is good for reserves, good for forex and all that with PMMC and other private aggregators. So it was so the first thing was to streamline it, centralize gold trade under GoldBod as the law prescribed. And then ensure say you be only one licensing regime. But the licensing regime, the ebechichim. Senebeya ubia auto gold biano, depending on a hoarding. Okay, on also so be a certain category. Okay. Hoarding in your pet. Okay. Your big players, your small players, but ubia who here. You back with framework in ye. Into the 4-tier license regime by first of its kind in Ghana. tier 1 license, tier 2 license for buying gold.
Yes.
Yeah, the self-financing aggregators buy omo ankasa wo musika omo pese omo to gold ma amai oba abai no. And the aggregators buy. Those were just the buying licenses. Then of course value addition, refining license, fabrication license are we here and now the jewelry. Need the keka ye desa.
Ni na be share GoldBod ase.
Ni na be share GoldBod ase. The power to give a refining license. Ni na be share GoldBod ase. So we have to introduce all these different types of licenses, working with stakeholders, meetings upon meetings. Yeah. What should be the categories? Fees and the requirements, governance requirements based and legal requirements based and operational requirements based and financial requirements based. So we have to do all this work and how to even apply for the license. So yeah, say the manual system now PMMC the digital system but online. You go on our portal, all the license categories are there, and on your palm, on your phone, on any device, you can apply. No human elements. Enti kataseshen proyebi ni menya fe na wokwa kutua adamudia ma obi bribe ma obi ansane aye license ama e make sure that then aye no bibia mu da ho fine periperi yo ye adwuma yi mu bi anim enti eboa e ma stakeholders no so nya mugidie eboa yeah license reforms na ansane e be license reforms kwa na e was say GoldBod afi ni ate adwuma fofo na hwe adwuma o man na dia hye yensa a juma kese ye mehwe gold to so nyina wo Ghana, oversee, monitor, regulate, undertake the buying, the selling, the seeing, the export, the refining of gold and other precious minerals. But Oshe Ejumayukua GoldBod it take over from PMMC na ye Ejumayuku. It was just a limited liability company. We're just about 100 workers, a little over 100 workers.
They were not doing all the things you mentioned.
No. Because PMMC na onye the sole buyer of gold, onye the sole licensor of licensees who buy gold.
Yes.
What you say? PMMC didn't have any export function. PMMC didn't have any trading function. PMMC non to gold over kwamo no nenkoton. PMMC non onye the sole exporter of small scale gold, because there were other private people competing with PMMC
to buy gold from the small scale sector.
And the sector at the time was made up of individuals, Ghana for, India for, and China for, and other foreigners. But the number of foreigners no was can't Roman and one they want need me to good Nepal. Into good no need to know abrofo and ajiafa. Net ton so abrofo and ajiafa. And
abrofo so na the price are obeto gold no. It was purely determined by the market.
Now PMMC need to me be obetimi a trouble on our force say to good at this price. So PMMC didn't have any value addition mandate, for example. But GoldBod was a power nina export mandate, trading of gold, price regulation, and all that value addition. There's a compliance because gold PMMC they don't need tax force because we're a company. A private limited liability company, the only one purchase will be a smuggling. But now GoldBod is giving a whole enforcement and compliance mandate. So all the exit and entry points of Ghana, you deploy tax force. You deploy tax force and gold market. You make sure so be a whole trade biano formalize or license or follow the license conditions so or to good no there is no hoarding, there is no illegal trading, there is no smuggling. Into leakages in no so. Na good if fan chain in and say emfa GoldBod in same na kwama no ne na ehon obruni sika United States dollars na so no enka ne no na kakra bi na eba na yenya so mfaso no say ni nyina amra back na dollar no me yensi achi ba ma Ghana cedi na Ghana cedi nya ahoden na Ghana cedi nya ahoden na dollar ba fom a dollar bebu de opebi akokwanso akofa oil ntare aduane obenya bi seed ni ho benya ahoden ade bia ye de dollar kofa baso bo no be ne ebe kofom fan wo bo be kofom ka sika bo be kofom inflation be ba fom into manfo ho betom. So the GoldBod was supposed to be that anchor for the economic recovery and stabilization agenda of government. Inti adwuma amrane de share yenza ne say yen generate obroni sika foreign exchange e magana by Ghana mine. Na yem Bank of Ghana so no more good reserves are or more from 2020 from the 1960s yes that's it and we shemu kena 2021 no yem sumni yem pija Ghana gold reserves in ko na yenya sika koko abogana atai Ghana sika semechi and wait me the ahoto aba omani mu
India no the gold reserve program no na mobetwa enoso
no say betwa so because the law says to support good reserve accumulation by the Bank of Ghana. And the Bank of Ghana started accumulating reserves in the 1960s. It drew baby no a poso kakra 2021 and abinda da no so but the reserve accumulation had already begun from the 1960s. Na GoldBod na year djuma yekwa afi ya tene say and I'm say Bank of Ghana na djuma nye primarily gold trading no Bank of Ghana na Bank of Ghana tini accumulates more reserves no they know your complementary role but the role of generating foreign exchange in India an independent role like yama
and no GoldBod adwuma
it not just say I was say yeah the different institutional reforms and restructuring HR gap analysis hwe adwuma yofodo do e PMMC na hwe adwuma no moye na hwe adwuma foforo e yama GoldBod say adwuma yofo na betumi ayana na bi into departments for Benny here, directories for Benny here, units for Benny here. Now, who are the people to head and man these units and these departments? So, wholly new directories have to be established, like compliance directorates, like a trading departments, like a risk department. Like all these departments were not under
any PMMC.
PMMC. They were all cross way be my folk akrebi. See GoldBod na be kese. Seed capital abai de man on kwano over 4.5 billion cedis. Edwuma bi ani Ghana GoldBod the kind of revolving turnover GoldBod. Because last year kwano who the PMMC in GoldBod, gold and quiet Toma Bank of Ghana boom 132 billion Ghana cedis. There is nothing like that in Ghana. So a huge responsibility.
There's nothing like that in Ghana since there is no other agency of state
handling such funds
on a year.
Yeah, in a day-to-day basis. Every week you are trading with about 4 to 5 billion cedis a week.
4 to 5 billion cedis a week.
Yes.
Ghana cedis.
The amount of cedi or money here dollar. It convert to dollar my.
And you do that through gold.
It was all copy gold. Now we hear who do many na be AC be who export co part of 4 now make sure say yinsisi Ghana obro ni sika beba. Sa dollar na first na come on the man sisi beba na ba bebo man sika samiti. We did all the new departments, all the new directories, the new human resources. We poached a lot of workers, assembled
from other areas.
A very, very solid team. And Omobe Kejuma for Honda Dano. And ya defeat Ejuma say.
It is almost staff strength, mobile 1,000.
No, see, and number 450.
450.
Na PMMC, ya be 90 something 100. Is and 450. And ya dibisu ka home because Ejuma na kesiana there is a need. To still recruit. It's created a lot of jobs. That is one of the pluses. President Mahama was here demand a true GoldBod. And not quite direct jobs. The direct jobs alone will be over 350, 400 still counted.
Other license
but the indirect jobs, because your license is in 1,000, and your license is maybe your office miensa back on. It be also direct workers and indirect workers. So in the ecosystem, GoldBod abebo am ya creating Numa in the thousands, and we are still going ahead with that. And the institutional reforms were done. We beefed up the HR capacity of the organization. The licensing reforms were rolled out. The market reforms were rolled out. Now they need here power enforcement because what shembra say GoldBod on Democrat say you can be a regulator and a player in Juma mobile trap price smugglers so I feel the akase ubi nyo pepa and their ties amra nechi. Now we're making sure we are them running Juma. The on fine Juma watching us so I'm running in the then I was say a GoldBod task force because the normal law enforcement agencies and they're already overwhelmed by security issues in the country. And yet GoldBod on by Nobi. When was the last time Asempa we discuss say obi a committee good related offense rare obeti be na big news.
The obeti will be maybe illegal miners
but in the trading sector na bibia say ndio. And most of the people trading gold were not even formalized. Your license your muntu be a but this time around you make sure that we to go that our license. To get a license, you would have met a strict set of requirements. Operational, governance, legal, and you are subject to a strict code of terms and conditions. Into your the sanity by Nafi, national security. A soldier for the Roma, CDS, IGP, the Roma, yenya police, yenya soldiers, national security boy, and your call, Asuchuare. We trained them. They went through. They passed. The president inaugurated. Here, starting another task force in about 120. We had to get them the vehicles. We had to get them uniforms. You have to get them weapons. You have to get them all the tools they need. You have to rent houses for them across the country, because they have
entry points.
Exactly, to all the mining towns are trading, so that their presence is felt 24/7. Because visibility is a deterrent factor. So, and almost also, and then the task force is not just those who go on the field. You have to create an intelligence unit that to gather intelligence about smuggling. Baby, so the intelligence unit fees the task force, and the task force effects arrest. Then normally I bet the investigation unit. Then the investigation unit in a very him. Normally lawyers not prepared dockets near the Asempa court. And all the enforcement actions we did 2025 is CZ good or more.
And almost our prosecutorial powers.
Yeah, prosecutorial powers not that of the Attorney General. But one my how did they call
delegated
it? One my fiat.
Okay.
And it me prosecute good related offenses, of course, subject to the supervision.
Sure.
And a boy, and to get all those fiats and then get well to employ lawyers, to employ prosecutors who must be trained by senior prosecutors at the AG before you qualify for a fiat and it's taken as a man's. Into what we have been able to do now in a short period of time, Obi, Unyamia Yibi. Na nina sujina omampenyi mahama mwa wadiamaye na kwanchre any the kind of inspiration he has given us. Ghana for da yemompaya ma papano. Isanse papano he's a special person. And maybe because omomompe present mama as no munimno. You don't know him, so it's not your fault. Because if you know him, you will love him. I don't know. But you see, and there are many people who don't know him in person, but through his works. But if you get to have a feel of his personality, the way he thinks, the kind of vision he has for Ghana, his modesty, his simplicity, his humility, how down to earth he is, and the very calm, nice way that he will get the job done now, you cannot but fall in love with him. And that is the kind of leader I want. And on our boy I may achieve 2025 I finish we and obi na fe how na ye beto ye no fe de asate ehu anopu mesibre good na dodo na fa nche no se se de omampenyi mahama any GoldBod at Roma Ghana form waso eka ho. He say good no from 63 tons in 2024 yenya 104 metric tons
of gold,
small scale gold nkwa, artisanal small scale mining. A former good year na ye no nketen and nkwa gold de mai last scale for no if it ABC 2025 and sana president ma akofa GoldBod abano no mo na mai gold do no a feed ye omunya 100 tons pe
small scale gold
overtake my Ghana more gold
for be our name ye can 102 104 tons. You can 104 tons. How big is it?
Okay, so 1,000 kilograms of gold make 1 metric ton.
Okay.
It is a mekaze 100 tons. 1,000 kilograms times 100.
Oh.
Are you getting me?
Oh.
Now 1 kilogram of gold, the amount now so mabunze ukita da emwedu. And you have 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, mako sa 1,000, and they 1 ton. That's 104 and 104 metric tons.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
Leakages ni bibriwa yete so. Yintimi si anon kwan kra beti President Mahama mwenti yetimi edi abafom pa. Ena obroni sika no a because gold no dey obetumi nya akoton. They say large scale gold. Obetumi akoton but broni sika ne ma re Ghana amanfo nim. The kita omen kesepa enye large scale gold and small scale gold.
Dada nyina
ma na GoldBod ma ye nti na yintumi and small scale ni. And I can defend this anywhere. The small scale sector has always been bigger than large scale, but because it is poorly regularized and coordinated and managed, because still large scale mining company no nya gold do okra no koton gold no wamanonia ne contract a woni aban assign e ma ne ho kwan se obroni sika no ode dodo na ka etena ne kurumu amanone e de toto ne mfidie di tweet and shareholders ka kakre bi pe ne bagana. In fact, there is a large scale mining company or Ghana or the gold kwa amanone koton a dollar ba kokra emma opa obit market $1 ba kokra emma because contract on aban wo no emma no 100% retention. So you can retain everything 100% of all the proceeds outside and on tomra. Ebi mutimi retain 80%, 70%. It differs. But many will be under retention below 60%. So internet is a dollars FX proceeds are yenye film. Na ya I see chiba mo minus kasem from large scale no form. Of course, they pay royalties and they pay taxes. Small scale phone royalties and taxes. But say about foreign exchange, this is small scale no, we are getting 100%. And the benefits of those FX inflow no, are very significant. So until we were 104 metric tons here, and who Brunisi can go at the brain and your profits, but the proceeds, your cotton, you know, Brunisika in Yanquano, we have gross weight now, about 10.8 billion United States dollars. It means Ghana
10.8 billion.
Yeah.
From 104
metric tons. Yeah, because not only did the volumes go up, prices so Nyaminchadi Ekosii. Into the combined effect of higher volumes and higher prices and a mice. But
even before there are those who argue say 10.8 billion US dollars. Yes, but yeah, cities are near good dada. Any idea my GoldBod so mon fanya juma mra FX no. In the really any skabi fee be ever. Yeah, sika.
I am papa yeah sika. Na GoldBod in my no. Now, say the Bank of Ghana will see this.
Yes.
Not dollars, no never. No munya do say. So, because converting CDs, not GoldBod my na Bank of Ghana will see this. And so, answer the benya dollar no. E to de bi just ye ko bobusia. So unim za. Ye per dollar keke you will see this. But ye ntimi fa ye see the nim komo bia say. General dollar because we see the ne ye dey. Or pe gold bi. But not GoldBod in you, not gold be intimi nyakesi mfanko.
In the mostly na
gold no nebe ma ide.
Cocoa syndicated loan ebeba.
$2 billion. Eba ni ni aji $2 billion ebeba cocoa sika na ebeba. Se cocoa sika na nya ba pe ene wa wo pe dollar bia obenya bi. Eba 3 months na sana fi importers as why shit. Aban per dollars they are settle external obligations neka eka IPPs dia na wo nya bi. Inti just a Eurobond market. Ni akobo bosia in dollars.
At high interest.
So to get dollars, you have to create debts. Inti okobo bosia na obetu ensi hu afibia o no wasanso etua kano just to get dollars. Inti IMF, ye ho kire 2022 I say IMF no say na ye 3 billion dollars. Sa 3 billion no mo de my 3 years me boa. Ye de my tot sope. Now, 1 year per year to be generated 10.8 just from small scale. What the last scale the account is over $21 billion. You didn't see that because higher volumes due to the visionary leadership of John Mahama, or the right policy solution GoldBod and higher prices
on the world market.
So, and no nama CD for the first time. You saw the CD appreciating by 40%. We've not seen that in many decades. Not even in over 30 years, in who beside a CD appreciate here. CD no bo dollar, ebo pound, ebo euro. Dollar and bo no be 40%. So CD no baby Intina President Mahama say GoldBod I must CD na then. I brand. And Dr. Atufosana said the same thing. And once and like I agree with Alleges Bawumia MPP from flag bearer. Flag bearer. When in opposition or lecture be was Central University or say the most important economic indicator for a middle income country like Ghana, the exchange rate.
The exchange rate.
Now, when the exchange rate is weak, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose
you.
If the exchange rate here, but we say we here partner, no, as I say, President Mahama, what me, amanenya hodia, CD, about dollar from 40%.
How would you respond to that argument? In line with your what can you say? Yes. GoldBod intervention, a fantastic intervention, real results in terms of forex are ever. But we've used all that money. I wasn't investing in the real sector, no. Bank of Ghana intervening in the market just to keep the CD stable. In the ensure real benefit be from gold price a cost through increased volumes I buy. You know. How do you respond to it? No? Oh, you've not heard that argument? You've not heard that argument.
Let me explain.
Minority for canal on several occasions. Bank of Ghana Sika. Like Ghana Sika.
No. Sikabe. Ghana Bank of Ghana, they might too good, no. Last year, is Sikabe. This year is a different arrangement. Sure, this year is different. Last year, no, Sikabe.
BOG Sika, that one, the Amamusa.
Omunya Skanaway.
And your Ghana for ya Sika,
Sikabe.
And you may know twa.
So that's the misconception.
Okay.
And you taxes near the top.
Okay.
So Central Bank, Nejuma pa Bank of Ghana, Juma Mradia man constitution, the man is all you say. Obemam and Yamabo Ejina. Your friend of price stability.
Sure.
No man for one tom. In Tim Pompon, so I Yamabo Cosrono, I was all tesono managina, inflation rates. And on the Central Bank behind the Jume Dikai. Na so omubetumi amanyema boagina dia na e was so making sure say money supply sika dodo e wo economy ni mu no e wo level a e wo say e wo because the sika dodo e wo say wo economy ni mu no e conform than it ought to be inflation beba enyema bo be den
e be kosoro
se sika no so kosoro bebre e chen sika dodo e wo say wo economy ni mu a enyema bo so you have more money
chasing fewer goods.
Yes. It's a demand pool inflation. What's the point that I'm say? So central bank be an core work no. So obeto good on to good nejuma no. What am I say? Yeah. Into the central bank be here. Central bank no or bank commercial banks are one more license book room or more juma no. Omojeje deposits if you free amount for. Na bank ni jisika na omudi bia bobo besia. So na bank bia sika awoje no ye wo level ye wo part bia a percentage of it I was or the to Bank of Ghana because Bank of Ghana na any banker.
Yes.
So there is a certain reserve I was say oku keeping with Bank of Ghana. Na banks no yes anya mani nyina wi a omutimi still omukoso mesika no mo de bre omo no etimi ba se abroso. So these banks and institutions the omo yene say e was so muko invest say sika no na say sika no timi e wo emfaso e de ma wo mo.
Yes.
Enti hifa no mekwa ko invest sika na Bank of Ghana ka say abu sika na e wo mo ho no mo mfa mbre me what the bremi a mema 10% e wo so. So what does the Bank of Ghana do? Your friend is sterilization. So excess money na e wo banks no wo no Bank of Ghana GC no wa interest to control money supply
as a way of mopping up from the system, sika from the system.
Exactly, as a way of ensuring say money supplies at optimum levels. Bank of Ghana na di ntia yete no. What the point I make sure na say? The Bank of Ghana yes anya mani nyina nti omo was sika ne da ho. Okay, I know you back.
Yes.
And as our Bank of Ghana na nkasa so no. This I was saying economic activities e wo on mine mu no etimi generate obroni sika commercial bank bia ebe nyebi na the customer ba no was me pese me kokra nyama bo China me here $50,000 na wenye bi ama no me kofa oil me here $100 million na wenye bi ama no what am I say but these economic activities need to be generating enough foreign exchange because why Ghana enyema dodo na ye use no money mu no ye kokra na ye deba so our demand for FX na ye high but dollars na ye generating ye kakra bi because enyema ye cotton na ma no ne de giobru ni sika no iswa. What you say? It was a Bank of Ghana. The banks, no customers will be call na what you be here $, or more dollar or more angasa wono and so until the end of mobile Bank of Ghana was a $. It's not Bank of Ghana because any may auction. Till you, wow, commercial bank I also pay dollars biano, bra. Na bebe de be a 2 days auction. First no more 7-day auctions. They do be a sports. Now what they see this a Bank of Ghana say me we see the CDC me jeje free me customers we okofa electric cars we okofa ntade we okofa si na ma jeje omu nyina so mo $, inti me di amount 3 days time and 7 days time for whole dollar ye den e ma me at a certain forward rate or spot rate say dollar na de be ma 10.8 and at 10.9 na Bank of Ghana no ma yes auction ni nyina transparent. The Bank of Ghana ko jiji say CDC ni nyina free bank or so $1 mo ko fa $. No the say sika na oje na bre GoldBod nti enya taxes wansem ne yeka CDC amount for ekito omo dada omo pay $1 free omo banks but the banks cannot meet that demand no and no na Bank of Ghana agene through an auction na Bank of Ghana they bre GoldBod na GoldBod they akoto gold na yakoton na ye ka dollar ye dia ma Bank of Ghana na Bank of Ghana for the dollar na koma omo no be a $1 kodi ni dwuma bia ide enya but there was a Bank of Ghana so no ono aso sutimi accumulate dollars foreign exchange no they building the reserves what am I say send the be ya ohia dam eda asem kese bi besi no because enya dia wo checha ma banks ne nko a some the entire your free BB reserves is your standby it's your contingency eda bibi besia e wo se okonya bibi it's Bank of Ghana no ono ni sika na banks na dia ma no e dia ba beto ne nchen a wo tua interest ho no Bank of Ghana timi first sika ni bi ma GoldBod se faka omo auction there no na fako to good and it's how dollars ne ba and no the Bank of Ghana there because his Bank of Ghana is already paying interest on those monies and the to be out in the high powered money it doesn't mean say you print sika to say in this literal sense what you say so say sika na dey to gold and so because gold na dey to ninti no sika na dey to gold no do so nti yenye sika emfa nya den ya sika ya dey kwan na nya no dey to gold sika ye this suku da nya ne dey to gold what you say e sika sidia ehwe dollar akofanye me no dey to gold you converting into dollars
into sika was say finance ministry nya be dey invest in the real sector no enya sika ya
e no dey wa budget one time seed capital or dey amaye but yesika bebrebe say last year to gold nko seed is 133 billion no enya taxpayers money near the to gold no a very nice arrangement. Bank of Ghana is saying mo amope dollars no mo fa mo seeds mra mo fa invoice bibia bra say ampa dollar no de kwa kofa nyema transfer o yemfa dollar ni show some cash ti be transfer ma oni pa kro no ti wo jeje sa anyema ni nyina ba na fa odi seeds na bre Bank of Ghana o say okay ma me 7 days ma me 3 days ma me say me do dollar be dem be ma rate ni asensan auction competitive
nti o mo ton go na foreign
nti George seeds na I was a seeds no onya $100
that's true
nti no the seeds na bre GoldBod
okay
nti businessmen sika enye say what about and enye free money what ma me cedi me ma $1 but we are doing it through gold trading so
but
then the Bank of Ghana nankasa so person build the reserves no sika banks they are invest with him a what you interest no was a GoldBod me here auction me nya $200 million me the minister say sika ni bia den your friend Omo funds e dey bia ka ho fakotona nti it GoldBod operations what sika ne kakraka but it doesn't mean say enke sika ye dey be kwan ye dey be si school ne dey kwa koye and this is not
in other words anye aban sika bi
do yes and this is not sika Wait, Maka say, pump dollars into the system. I'm enjoying there. You better not go so. Na Ghana, your reserves, Brunisika, you will go home as of December 2024. Na $8.9 billion. So round it up to $9 billion.
Yes.
2025, corner we, our GoldBod the year, Jumo ye, my the dollar buy from see the appreciative 40% ma Ghana for one term. Your reserves na fee $9 billion. I call $14.8 billion. And it's a $9 billion now a better you and I know the fire and the pumping good system anymore. I said reserves would have gone down. Why is reserves still going up exponentially? Meaning, and your reserves now a better ye be crying but rather we are able to generate more effects through gold trader, GoldBod unti. They say yashisheni ye. Now gold do one na fanche no.
But Bank of Ghana admission say they intervene in the market with $1 billion a month.
And on your friend intervention, your friend intermediation. Intermediation is a Bank of Ghana, a middleman.
Yes.
Ankram per dollar. Major intermediation, I say. It was a Fauci di Breme through auction.
Yes.
The dollar never mao. Na Bank of Ghana, Edi Sikana ma GoldBod. Na GoldBod akoto gold. Na GoldBod akoto na dollar ba. Na Bank of Ghana de wo dollar no. We see the now the buy no. The dollar equivalent not the amount. In the Bank of Ghana, enko far on one reserves are wabu no gubebi and the abrel and no intervention. But all the who seek see this now our intermediate are converting into dollars not the one the abrel. Your friend intermediation that is not pumping dollars into the system. In the amount for to was
by this you are saying, sir, since Aban will take he over no. BOG intervening in the market.
Oh, of course, I cannot say that I don't work at BOG. But what I can tell you is that the main program they are running is intermediation. I don't have data to show whether at some point
they intervened.
I don't know. Only the Bank of Ghana can speak to that. But I know that what they do on a weekly basis, every time what they are doing is intermediation. And there is a whole policy framework on money IMF and the banks governing this intermediation. IMF and said this is correct. So now over $9 billion. Now, pump it. Do you know the demand on Bank of Ghana? Every week there were weeks. That sometimes the Bank of Ghana, the demand on them is our $400 million, $300 million.
1 week.
$250 million. Now, $dollars baby. $dollars be below. If you okay, GoldBod no kwesika dey abroad here. If I said 10.8, if I $10 billion. So sika no, it's gone into the market when I can create into reserves. What am I say? So sika no, say nye ya generated through this economic activity of gold trading. And a Bank of Ghana be far reserves no pump here. I think sika na sa. Your reserves no think asa we've whittled it down. So be catch say we are pumping dollars into the years and no correct.
Because of the source of money, BOG Eddie Mamo, Simon Fanto gold, as you've explained, then it means in that trade, there should not be anything like losses. In the long run, ebe affect or more musikama Bank of Ghana say on Fabi Mamo. The whole question around losses, how do you explain that? 214 as the World Bank reported.
Well, yedi country is a GoldBod. Bank of Ghana sika omo de ma yenyina no yebu ho akonta pepepe and yene Bank of Ghana ye reconciliation ya sen sign into GoldBod sika nko Bank of Ghana de ma ye sen fanto gold mo 2025 okabo mo over 132 billion no ye de hu gold nyina ye den sika was ye de mo ye de ama mo ye ne omo kanti GoldBod de mo ka and yeah audited financial statement acha early April, you better publish it
for 2025.
It will be something big is coming. Something in
the audited financial statement.
You will be who say Nyame Adam GoldBod Nyame Yeshrayen 2025.
One make profit.
We don't make profit at GoldBod.
It is not a profit.
We call it surplus.
Surplus.
Yeah, there's a little difference between profit making institutions and surplus making institutions. We'll be declaring a surplus. Na figure na dia menka. Auditor General ye audit no akakakra ye ntwe no nwie na report no ye buy be publish on our website and on other websites na obia ayede ehu. Now that doesn't mean when you are trading gold you can't make a loss.
Okay.
You can say trader. What is the meaning of trade? Trading includes profit and loss.
Absolutely.
So and when you're dealing with a commodity like gold, you can't have those. Today you can gain, today you can lose. The here they say, Ejumana way and obey in the year. Senebeya, the gains will far outweigh any losses at the end of the day. But don't say GoldBod, quite a first year gold trade in 2025. Yes. The Bank of Ghana a year in 2026, and the Bank of Ghana a year in 2025 in a different kakra. Because the Bank of Ghana is not really a trading organization. The law allows them to buy gold and all that, but they are not into trading. Okay. And Bank of Ghana, the entire venture into gold trading, say into gold, no. Na but I be so many so. But I see so many say ye be nya obroni sika dollar
forex.
So no more any swadi no enye say ye beto gold. Na ya nyamfaso because obit me nyamfaso, but the main thing is the FX. What the point that Metro na say so they were not profit driven, they were FX driven.
Yes.
And the be to me nya gold ni nya dollar. Okay, 2022 na Binance why shit that time no yentibi kwan ko bobosia wa mansan dwa so bia e company yentimi ntua ye pebro ni sika ye nya bi. That was a year dollar could do 17 cedis no. The cedi depreciated by over 54%, inflation crossed 50%. So you cannot be seeking profits in gold trade at the time you are seeking FX. Inti die na beti nyama wenya gold no. Inti Bank of Ghana yes omo be market incentives. Inti ka gold and can under normal circumstances there was a ton discount. Now you make sure that your Kenya will be absorbed by the discount. Send be a kabia mano. Bank of Ghana toa or ton of spot price. Inti je say amansen bia so boa okoton gold na ubenyano or the nyina ama mine na wa. Na just or the neka plane car mechanism or there's a freight insurance or there's a cano any commission or the bema bias in beka ho na fi e kabia ba beto echire. And no an accountant will call it a loss, an economist will call it policy cost. So what am I saying? So that cost comes about because of the policy rationale for sa adwumana na Bank of Ghana you know. Say you can say ye pemfaso de an ye good na wo say e boa ye kotona mansendwa so ye benya no ye TBC as discount na ye de kakra ma mine no. But that time no ye ho akire ye ko TBC a smuggler at the higher price beba I Bank of Ghana de nti gold no kwa ne nsan kan dollar no so enya den emma. Now dollar drew 17 cedis in your economy. Will you be thinking about that? So that is a rationale. The rationale has never been profit. So there is cost. Obieni will be to me a deny say Bank of Ghana for trading on my and it didn't start in 2025. I think the Bank of Ghana and Gasa published details. Oh, Obi, you did the right to information request, and they gave you 2021 a care buy, 2022 a care buy, 2023 a care buy, 2024. But the here they say, "Oh, my boss, I cannot." And fast forward ben on my near day in so you do cost benefit analysis. Now when we say yeah boka abia this amount of money, but where dollar program you buy ne boy economy no tete nyema so like 2025 $10.8 billion. Ye ko bo ho bosia te say de na amount for bosia to get the dollars a nge hu interest in kwa be bro sa aka na amount for keka say Bank of Ghana ayede abono koko Eurobond market na akobo bosia 10 billion aka wunya bimpu ba wunya bia nka wentu akra 8 to 10% obeyeden ubetua
into the losses so, no if any on the Bank of Ghana side.
Exactly.
Momodi gold number
which is 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
This year, if there is any loss, it's GoldBod loss.
Yes, this year.
That is why, because government has now ascertained program because any private person as a trade to make profit. Yeah. But for national economic stability, profit is not the motivation. Your cost be ebeba. It is our cost a buying Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, GoldBod, the attendance in who's our cost, your friend baseline program cost. And as our cost, I buy and say, Obe Famudu do see. Bank of Ghana, so Obe Famudu do see. Because our cost in care, as soon as one ever borrow so, Mohomo, baby, ama economy na ye. Aye. And this is say, Sana Ejumano, from March 2026. Sana Ejumano,
why would Bank of Ghana befa cost maybe when they are now out of the
because dollars now what they banning no Bank of Ghana now na say Bank of Ghana sa amwa amfa cost no bi na ojai ni nyina bɔ aban so na aban ntimi na adwuma na nkɔ so yi na dollar na ma Bank of Ghana or no adwuma ne price stability no obe failing in achieving that core mandate no. So that is why I friend of burden sharing cost no saying there was a bank for saying there was a Bank of Ghana for now GoldBod so be e was said yes obe say apart from I say aban I can say ministry being called Ekosiisen a keepers but they will give you goods and services as expenses you will incur in delivering that capital expenditure project. What am I saying? Basically, that is what it is.
It means that in
so GoldBod there was here
cost, now it will sit on the books of BOG because I more end and as our
because the program is their program was their program. What they are saying, and PMMC was only an agent. In 2021, PMMC to GoldBod BOG. 2022 PMMC to GoldBod BOG. I think PMMC started 2022, 2023, 2024. Program na ho kan yanka say PMMC ka oti bi da oti PMMC losses
no BOG
yanka say 2023 kan ye PMMC ka yanka say 2024 ka ye PMMC ka nje dey na say mpo Bank of Ghana for incur legitimate cost to be in such an important national economic program afi do be ka say GoldBod ka because PMMC na no na ya page ma ye ne kese aba be we that was just mischief and I think there all discerning minds.
But the minority is still pushing for a bipartisan inquiry into what may have occasioned the loss.
No, but has there been any loss of 214? Because you see, you must understand that Bank of Ghana or a public, entity.
Yes.
Inti afibia kone wiye ya nisika semuno. The finance department be prepare all their management accounts. Auditors, external auditors will audit them. And their audited financials will be published. And the audited financial statements will go to Parliament. And Public Accounts Committee better now so. Ebebe TV so am obi ehu Ni we are Public Accounts Committee report about on the floor. Ama ya debate atoswaba. So is some for more cancer are they saying that they don't trust that process of external auditing and Public Accounts Committee, TV so will be a committee from when right now the audited financial statements have not even been published. Do committee is on inquire audit now as I say. I think they are confused. What they are saying. So na systems but I don't think Bank of Ghana they have anything to hide. Brano, they go to Parliament, they meet or more Parliament, and you say they don't tell you. Talk to Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, my friend, Dr. Gideon Boako, my brother. We've many Bank of Ghana. We've appeared before their committee, the Committee on Economy. Yakwa questions of PBI they are able to ask. Only one unanswered question because then they have more questions they can call GoldBod or call Bank of Ghana. They don't have one. About himself politics, especially Sammy Gyamfi and find out who was here the coffee because I position or so that one understand it in that area, but there are no issues and anybody is right.
It will bring me to my next point about
the way forward.
The way forward into Waka 2026, and from what you said, trading from selling, from buying to more tongue apartment $80 na ba no ni nyina e be GoldBod adwuma
GoldBod adwuma from March
from March from March it be GoldBod adwuma CCR
but the transition has not been completed. Okay, so Bank of Ghana is still in there with the financing, but GoldBod is now responsible for the selling, the buying, everything. And
BBR it no sika mo de beto no Ebefi Finance Ministry na abasisia na.
No, Finance Minister the wama yedri 2025.
Okay.
4.5 billion and no.
Okay. Cedis.
But yamana was a scanisha because good boa kosoro. So 4.5 billion. Me the two good one our trenasa. Oh na. So what ton na watch na wakwa akoton a obenye sika foforo akoto because it's a revolving trade. Auto good 4.5 billion akoton a dollar ne ba na wakwa akoto. But the total be obeto 4.5 billion. Na ebia ebo na te se de nansen wo yi ba ye ndu koto a utimi boka ntino e wo sa wo twen kakra. Timing is very important in gold trading, and you look at your hedging options available to you in the account. So sometimes it becomes necessary to wait and sana what on gold no. So so it means say any gold ni go na on ton ya we be here another money to go and buy. and into the GoldBod, you're raising money from off-takers in advance.
Okay.
With the first $300 million.
Yes, more pay gold, no, at the dollars, but
advance. No, to GoldBod.
Account.
Yes, but your account in our Bank of Ghana,
sure.
and we give all the dollars
sure.
to Bank of Ghana in advance.
Sure.
The Bank of Ghana my CD.
Okay.
But you say, Parliament, SA, under the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Program, GANRAP, GoldBod, dollar BI, abebo me, yenfani nyina ma Bank of Ghana. Yentimi ntombi emfanche ni nyina was here the Bank of Ghana. So by 2028 Bank of Ghana benya 15 months of import cover no. Na enam senti no Bank of Ghana so MYN ewo eka yebo in generating sa foreign exchange. Na Ministry of Finance so nya the MY. And Parliament say ye ne Bank of Ghana nya agreement. Na ya agree say ye the dollar bi aba ye beton no teku ye beton no sempoa. E di ama Bank of Ghana. Na Bank of Ghana my CDs ni yetimi akwakoton biem. So the cost at which we sell forex no. Na GANRAP has provided, Parliament has approved, Cabinet has approved that we and the agreement will be signed in the next couple of weeks. And basically that is where we are. It's all part of the transition.
Main funding for the new
the main
phase
funding is
from
GoldBod's seed capital plus prepayments from off-takers, complemented as and when necessary by BOGs. Auction na make us more no. Alleges CDs from those who need dollars. Say Ekobase you watch there, ni here more money. You could be you can give us that. But in that case, and you can the amount or the amount because of a dollar, the dollar ne brand new year. CDs no so answer you need. What you say? So that is basically the arrangement.
And now I've also heard say as part of the new way, because this is here no more na Marchi must start from buying to sell and everything, no? Will the licensing regime also change?
Yeah, the licensing regime will change. Licenses be where you buy a fini, you boom compo chi. You who say chima toka krawo na jumedie no ho. E be ni self-financing aggregators. We are looking at making some changes there. Tier 1, tier 2, we are trying to do some consolidation. Okay. Ekwanya yefaso to gold. Ye more license some to gold. No musanso do na sanso nya sika free or the to gold no. Yes. But omo na bibi omo office etete mia bebre eto. And they are scattered all across Ghana. And you are not able to monitor the right volumes or more turn the omo declare. Ibi mo the right thing. Do na so nye. Wato gold no 5 kg. No be declare under declare say wato 1 kg. The akano or the Ekosii na bo no kosora wo de aba. When they create scarcity, then they are able to manipulate price to go up. What am I saying? Yes. Ebi muso wa or the license na to gold no. Bi kura wo do sika na to gold no. Pese mi nkumunyanti no de akwa India ni na China ni na smuggler bi. So na emfaso e was nke bi di o mine ho no na afanche. So smuggling so it's because the gold trade ecosystem is not centralized. You can sit anywhere. So now we are saying say ukudwomua into sufo wo madwasu na nkwasefo wo modem fu sufo wo madwasu makufo wo madwasu. Yet there is competition. Enyunu badwo no be a customer ba no be anya ne de. Enti yeso ye pese district bia no ye create gold adwasu ahodo.
The gold market, like a gold trading market.
They said you Tanzania bi wo no. They said ye diamond was a diamond. Untimi nto diamond Ghana just a diamond house. Oh sir. Yes. Untimi me office wo baby say me license ntimi ko be office. Ti say wo beje license ye will go the adwasu no district bi wa baako, ebi wa mienu, ebi wa miensa depending on the size. Na
yama space wo ho.
Na wanya office wo, na wote wo. E ho so aggregator wo, sika wo pe bia wo ho. Asoja for ho, nta wo bambo nya den any problem. Se na be ya gold dwa na amudi no. Ye need the actually. And also so na go ebe me ye hu district bia gold dodo aye produce ho. And also so na be masa traceability na ye mmere. Na ye hu miners omo di gold break GoldBod. Na ye hu say omo ye galamsey fo na omo ye miners papa. Because any mine bias yo mo tete omo be na omo to gold no. Gold ne be ba menchen wo GoldBod. Nya GoldBod na e turn directly. Agent na ye the e to the aba. Ye de be ba no na ya nane no as melt no 5 kg ba. 5 kg by biaso no ebia gold scrap don't do a woman be 100 if you baby when then we say content of this buy galam say the woman and say with you, so traceability becomes easy. You will know your suppliers. If you have formalization programs, you can target them with them and formalize them. Obia jisika so de to gold abre GoldBod or the adwane it will be twa so obia to gold wa under declare or hoard or smuggle it will be twa na aboa yen ama yetumi at the cost of our operations so yetimi a reduce leakages not down ya reduction bi be was ye bika na fe emfaso o mani nya free mu na kwa na ye de ekosro. So these are some of the reforms way forward.
I mean with my little bit of knowledge in the gold ecosystem, no, this looks like a game changer of a sort.
Yeah.
But the challenge I foresee is say obia the gold free ebia peter unya gold room at the market wa maba madress me shemi maba say me gold ni. How do you know say me galam say na me galam?
Say before on say the district gold market is one thing. So you are bringing it to a central place, so we will know you.
Yes.
So the second level is traceability. And say on my catcher was a traceability nearby.
Yes.
I'm a year who good I to be a baby free. I'm happy to tell you that this week we are beginning the procurement of the traceability system. Through national competitive tendering. We are publishing it on GANEPS this week. And 3-4 months near we
blockchain technology.
Yes. What you say so system we are onboard all our buyers onto that system.
Licensed buyers onto the system.
Now onboard all licensed miners and all participants of government authorized cooperative mining schemes. It is a way a miner now we need license and you will say we could join the cooperative mining. Because cooperative mining no yenim say baby awo ye adwuma na nsensu eni yenim say adwuma na awo ye no so wonte tie mu a ye kire kwan be fa so ye mining ni ye eni yenim say cooperative mining was so ye ututu amana ye be kata so ye be siesi asase ye be do bonu fe no land reclamation. It is so ye cooperative mining ni and our license ni a ye be on board good no de ba ho a wo be to bi ani uni problem ye be mo awards ye be motivate you more training. We will train them to improve the mining practices so that we can get, we can reduce the environmental degradation. Because sometimes some of the licensed people even destroy the environment than the unlicensed. So it's not just about being licensed. That's the first step. But beyond that, the mining methods, the mining practices, are responsible. And this good district market and the traceability system. So if you are not into cooperative mining and you don't have a concession, then you'll be in trouble. And
gold,
parliament, na parliament ashemra sa good ni emfanye de. Omo de ba yen reject. Say empe. And say yenka say yebeje but
reduced way.
Yebe turn at a punitive discount. And I yenka say yebe confiscate gold no cry. Obi mo so confiscate gold now to create an underground smuggling economy. And to buy it at a punitive discount or arrest the person. The GoldBod Act today is silent on it. But once you bring the district gold buying market and then you bring the traceability system, we'll be able to do this. Because we are ready to work with you, to formalize you for you to be responsible. And if you dig responsibly, you will get better results. What do you say? Sa mining basa ya this sense you are your amount for it must come to an end. What do you say? Because I come to one end, I would don't send me in the bed. It good. But yesterday, me kuma se me catch miners no. Go that you sense you dey. Go that you say acquire dey yempe. And we are going to invest in the fight against illegal mining more than we did in 2025 in 2026. 2025 we gave some pickups to NIMOS, we gave them money. This year we are giving them speedboats. Speedboats because we want them to wage a focused fight on the water bodies so that we can see an improvement there. And you say you preaching ya say amount for chan fans ya chini paka krebi. And after we leave there, others go no makwa ku see actually no more say no. So we are buying modern proper it costs a lot of thousands of dollars, but we are going to do that Ghana year unity because in sure yankwa And even though we want to bring out the gold, we must bring it out responsibly and make sure that we will not kill our children and our children's children because of that. So that is it. Talking about the outlook and on value addition. But I idea that present Mahama akomaso. Ye say gold why you two no mind muno. Yen fan kwa bonon amanonim cotton in its raw form. Because I cotton gold no in the raw form wa. Who sika ne ho fa so ne yakakra bi ma o man no. But say wotimi sachirem now the value ni bi ka ho a okoton a who sika ne bebre mfa so ebebo o man ni mu so no bebre. Nti no de ye fiti ase 2025 2026 ya sign refining agreement with the local refinery, Gold Coast Refinery.
Yes.
My ho kwan say ye betimi am up to 1,000 kilogram 1 metric ton of gold a week. Ya started with 300 kg and kakra based on their capacity ye be increase ya
na omaye den
within 48 hours normal refine and normal refined gold na den amaye normal the silver na so aka ho den amaye nti ye pese ye the silver na ma jewelers wo Ghana ye wo silver na beka enko Dubai refining charge anke ye betu ama refineries wo Dubai na so ebeka Ghana ama sika na ka the banks will benefit, jobs will be created, the value will be retained.
You refining gold in the mamwa na mai the maton and
na ya ton ne ato ne ya ton ne de sika na ba ye ton so a yinya bo papa because gold no ton in the raw form wa e ho discount no so nti wo bo no a wonya na nya bo papa but I refine na wo ton wa wonya na bo papa
ade na yen ton 104 metric tons no yen fa ni nyina refine
because capacity na wo ha no iswa and is na President Mahama was say by 2030 ye making sure say mineral resource be anywhere you be figure na akwakoton na manoni in the raw state because CC and the capacity ni no into wa 2030 and you say yes sir ye be ye ho adwuma. Once the visionary leader speaks you have to obey and watch re kwan ya emfaso nti obi enche omanfo beti asem de the third
other refineries will come.
The third biggest refinery in the world, Sam refinery, is the biggest refinery in the Middle East. Yenyo mudin kita huwa akaka krebi na ya sign memorandum of understanding. From there 1 month 2 months commercial agreement and we are going to build a 600-ton capacity refinery. A bit me refining Ghana gold nyina both small scale and large scale.
All because the 104
because it's 600 metric tons capacity a year. Into small scale 120, large scale 120. It can now sound so ababe magana yeah hard for local refining. The other African countries are more good in Ghana can bring their gold here to refine and it will boom the boost the local economy. All the refining fees will stay here in our banks. Jobs will be created. Gold now yekotona manonia. We suffer a lot of purity losses when it is in its raw form.
Yes.
Normally CC bono. Once you are selling bullion, na will be means you purity no. So this is what is coming in the area of value addition. Now value addition, so we are not just looking at local refining. President Mahama Diaba Kweda na kuma so pa fabrication. Gold na ya refining no. Di en yebetumi ya kawa asoma.
Yen kwaton ni nyina. Because young cotton refined gold
because all the year jewelry ni sika wom chain. So be kwa cotton even as a refined gold bar, bullion bar. What you say? So and also so we say leadership by example. You say investors be boyen. Finance minister say mid-year budget or consider some tax incentives for local jewelers and fabricators. Na yetimi atio mo kaso attract investors to come and establish jewelry companies here no mo no so ya boa wo mo amomanya gold no matimi dia ye or jewelries no but President Mahama say GoldBod can lead by example into your subsidiary PMMC jewelry na air practice no wamaya sumua and ya dani nani ya rebranded
because air practice will it be fair
oh na ho de no for ma menka ne sa ti say ya rebranded ya shimuki na ya de over 50
GoldBod jewelry
ya de 50 million cedis e remu a ya sesan your showrooms your enough stocks. And this year we are targeting revenue, not profits. Revenue of about 130 million Ghana cedis from local sales. Last year we got 66 million from local jewelry. Manufacture Ghana this year and and your Ghana yes, because it's a showrooms, you know. Yes, mu ye be ka ho problems are na company ni face gold obenya ne sa solve sa problems ni the gold tablets aba it is a Ghana ni Ghana, the number 1 producer of gold in Africa. You can also own gold as an investment. So I gold tablets in Ghana, and we are Richard or the birthday. Or 1,000 tablets. And all the chair Ghana, the share. We encourage a lot more people to do that. So now what we say gold. Ghanaians now can see the benefit of gold. Ghanaians now can invest in gold. We are changing the value addition narrative. And look out for the new refinery now, Urban.
But gold jewelry, no, say because Ghanaian fabricators ne adena eye. Say mo ton wo mo showrooms now. Na mo discount ma fabricate and I say mo to free or mo
adwuma for GoldBod jewelry no and ya fa adwuma for ya mo training na we go so training omo and right now we are trying to get some partners to come in so to also inject some capital and some technical expertise is it jewelry ni bi wa to any Dubai e bi fetch in Dubai there no kra and e mu durable eche papa who say the bones say anya papa unia opa tuntumi ma meva onko GoldBod jewelry na kwaje ba ko
tuntumi ma be ko
obi say o say we bi aba na obi aba hwe onsa no we say GoldBod jewelry
yeah fa bi bra na me
there be was better because aba papa aba masika ba but that was just on the lighter side. Let us patronize our made in Ghana jewelry. Abrofo no kra made in Ghana jewelry ni chen Ghana for no a lot of these wives and these tourists, when they come to Ghana, they want to get something made with our gold because here they know we have authentic, gold. And we do quality stuff.
And I want to ask this question. And Sana Yababe share, Yakan is saying, is it gun wrap? What you said? Gun wrap accelerated?
Oh, no, there's a machichi.
No. Unse, there is the bit about the fact, say, why would BOG, by extension government, decide to sell reserves?
I get it.
And then come round and tell us, it will come there and I pick your thoughts on that. But I'm saying, GoldBod jewelry is a subsidiary of GoldBod. It's a subsidiary of GoldBod.
Yes.
If they decide to sponsor an event, any BBA, is it a decision of GoldBod? And I say, your more GoldBod jewelry decision.
It's a decision of GoldBod jewelry because GoldBod jewelry is a limited liability company with a managing director and a board. I'm the board chairman, but the board doesn't run the day-to-day administration, so it is the managing director. But in this specific case, I'm sure you're talking about Women of
Valor event.
That program, I have nothing against the program. Or more, a man no more program national. Because we are pisca. What's the point I'm trying to say? So if I had the opportunity to market our jewelry to them, I will. And I was happy when I heard that there was some partnership. I have a partnership and say GoldBod jewelry komawo musika.
No mo komawo mo den.
Because they were not listed as a sponsor. So their logo was put on a flyer as a partner. Look. Who organize a baby event or the GoldBod flyer, GoldBod logo also. But some of it in the crowd meaning and we don't go. What the point I'm trying to say? It doesn't mean we have given money. Sometimes people just want to promote a brand that they believe in. Yes, your contribution in or mine. Or sometimes when your brand is credible, people think that we can associate with the brand. I was so happy when I saw that partnership because look, you can hate somebody, you can like somebody, you can have issues with people. But jewelry in your tongue. It's not about say me pay way. What am I say? And I will me party in me ton jewelry man. Just a business Are you getting me? In your showroom see a one crying. Na ye mame Ghana Bapini Abediache Samira Baumia.
Yes.
No about showrooms or beto GoldBod jewelry. I beg us away MPP in Indian Tomano.
No,
and I so say obebo ye jewelry who the rama ya cry. So no so dom ta nechi. O dia say open asem wo dom ta nechi a omo so betime tie no na onu ntimpo o ma ba beto ade ni bi. Enti publicity there is no negative publicity. Now me test answer me check it with GoldBod jewelry. They did not contribute 1 CD to the program.
Oma Mexica.
No, that is not even to say so mo yes anka ye boni but Oma Mexica. The omoye say
Women of Valor
Emma
charity organization promoting free
Emma ekwa program. Obi say Joy FM for so flyer na moda so be partner.
Yes.
Joy FM for mama musika.
Oh, that say media. And they through publicity. But
now media house. Now musika na publicity a jewelry company so dey na just say jewelry company ya feni edication mama mu musika o mo dey kwa ko mo bi so fan ko ye program London. So what they did was that on say Valentine near a friend a love month.
Yes.
It has a jewelry company na was some way promotions.
Sure.
Na ya stocks or so. Yes, yeah, love month. It say una we your program now person baby ye GoldBod jewelry your partner to get some special discount as part of love month promotions that we can give that to you. Because at the end of the day ukwa ko dom na ba beto ya ade na am our discount.
Yes.
That is a form of partnership. What do you say? So March was the Ghana month, and Heritage month.
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park.
Yeah.
And you say the jewelry company Neko Park. So come and see Ghana for with gold and your tools. Gold jewelry. Na bra beto ye jewelry nibi openly. This is what we are doing, and we are giving discounts from 5 to 35%. And you say, and now when I will program, I will be program me. Me nipadom say na mama special discounts be as partners na yemfanye ade we I think it is in order but nebe any woman I was say a train managing director in the company no aboso so people thought that on say 140 will be a partner we free say wakukura ban sika kese na say yanko program or London. No, there was nothing like that. I've checked the records and anybody can come and check the records at GoldBod. There is nothing like that, no payment and no credit. But GoldBod jewelry is doing a great job and Mesre Ghana fu nyina say enye Sammy Gyamfi company me company me buy na wo PMMC jewelry but mamu ye nto aso edi kanfo be ye bi ye so ye den ye to aso ye di sika be shim President Mahama opese ye ade bi on dey make one sem later GoldBod jewelry ni be lead because he wants us to have our own mini gold souk like Dubai has. Dubai o mundi gold back okra ho enso ko hwe mu gold souk na ko we jewelry ho. So he wants us to create a golden kilometer. On that kilometer stretch of road in the capital city, only gold jewelry and ornaments near bed. Na oba Ghana na say Ghana na mu gold bebre no. Munko chire bi baby a ye ton gold tablet, ye ton gold coins, ye ton chain, ye ton we amanya sa anyema ni bi. And GoldBod jewelry is the state vehicle ye di lead sadia no. Enti sansem na ba abonten no enye no kre. But we will not receive publicity. We will program. Now, my mentions. Once the program is live on radio, the program is live on television. Ubit my mentions. Ubit me aka GoldBod jewelry once a month. For your logo, no to flyer. So na bode my publicity in Chile. It is good. It is all helping to market Ghana and more media for no. They say advert in Isikaza. The moon started. Na mon fad you is a national project. Na mosomom waye kakra because we need Ghanaians to patronize our own made in Ghana jewelry.
Was the anger expressed by Mopati Fono legitimate on this alleged sponsorship of Women of Valor?
No, the information was wrong. Say information here wrong. Nipano bubefu based on the wate. Ubiti you know say hey yakwa fesika kesi akoma assume si so on London. Also, the venue of the program is an issue, and some of the people leading the program now are people that party people would think say way, Oma boy cheaper. So why must you carry money and give to them? So the information was wrong. So the anger was based on wrong information, and for that matter, we don't begrudge them. You have to be accountable.
Yes.
It's part of the job. Your responsibility is to come and provide accurate information. And you say this is the arrangement. And they are not politicians. More target sales personnel, masa. Unkope customers, unkope the obabe ton we are what dini. Eduma ye no hono inti yensem. Ti ebesre MPP. Me kai ye GoldBod jewelry promo no. I was so happy. The MPP social media, I saw them sharing. And I saw even Dennis Miracles Abuaje share. I saw Senyo who see Steve Mantia, and I was happy. We want bipartisan support and a nationalistic support for it, because it is a national pride. It is not supposed to be a partisan thing. More in that way, but of course, you can understand the politics of it and why somebody will be offended. Let's move on.
We'll deal with some of the issues in the last 1-2 weeks. Some of them includes procurement and a contractor, GoldBod, and the Amasam companies. But before that, you've attempted to explain what may have occasioned the decision, say, Bank of Ghana ebeton ye gold na ewa reserve no mono ebi. Some have said gold na 8 tons. Aban bi baby pija ko 31 tons. Mo ba ye se mo mfa bi nka ho ade na de wo dada no mo beton. Na fe mo fa trade another way bi abase o ye se ba be accelerate. I mean, why would anybody do that?
Obi midas. O question ankasa no yare kakra nti was yesa na yare
adentia
ko kan bibi se obi be bisa se aden na se ne o good 8 tons and aban bi dia 30 tons nti yemfa bi nka ho aden na ye ton ne ma te se MPP
that has been the minority's point
ni nyina ye mischievous politicking
adentia
no just say yentum futuru ngu Ghana for any na yefa ngu aban obi fi obi aban bia ni wa wode gold aka Ghana gold reserves in 1 year echen NDC mahama aban we
prove that.
Yes, MPP for nangasa data no more refer to no so mo say Ghana by 2021 na your gold reserves na 8 metric tons, yes, a little over 8.
Yes.
Na just enyo mo na start gold reserves na ho dada 8 metric tons and yes good ekitwa Makajo say 1 metric ton 1,000 kilograms. So 1,000 kilogram times 8,000 kilogram was them. Now buying titi aban no apegu ho a Bank of Ghana war reserves dada. Inti enyo mo na be start good for reserves. Utimi ye. Omo betena konwa so mfie nwotwe. Me bo na memoa.
Yes.
And omo de gold reserves ni free 8 metric tons to about 30. Me bo.
Yes.
Inti in 8 years no say no mo de kan o ma se ye che me ka che me.
About 30, that's almost about
22 metric tons.
Sure.
Good. Inti say obesa we analytica. Sa 22 metric tons only divided by 8. Ubenyu averagely every year be an count divided. Say enye 2.75 metric tons.
Yes.
It say 8 years wa betena konwa so. Na de we year in increasing your gold reserves nyina say o de fee 8 call 30, adding about 22 tons. Was a man Antonio Monfrel.
Don't you have to consider time almost 30 gold reserve program?
No,
it was in 2022. No, the technical almost 3 years.
About 2017. No more day. No matter. No more day. Answer no way. It's the excuse may start say 2022. No about 2017 now we are there. About 2018 now we are there. About 2019 now we are there. Second gold reserve accumulation I started from year 1. Tell me. One started 2022 now started into the 22 tons per account in your 8 years. Mahama buying BD Akonya 2025 or buy one year 1 and no started say good reserve no DB count year 1. Not in the 6th year like you did in 2022 after being in power for more than 5 years. Utieme. And in 1 year, the gold reserves the Bank of Ghana the free 30 tons, they call 40 tons.
More than 10 tons they count.
10 metric tons. The Bank of Ghana is not saying the 10 metric tons. By October 2025, now your gold almost 10 metric tons, almost 40. So the notion that NDC for me pay gold down to her, MPP for never pay gold to go her, and NDC for a ton, it's neither here nor there. MPP be 8 tons. 8 years almost the 22 can it could do 30 tons. NDC buy 1 year pay or the 10 account. Now if we are accumulating reserves at 10 metric tons a year, in 8 years near 80 tons. 22 tons and they do the half of gra. So momon ko yemfe no nto nche I almost oh Bank of Ghana akoton you good one wine good na Bank of Ghana akoton the same
Ghana
and this can here dey na Bank of Ghana this can here dey you see obi omo kasa na beso hunzo mutum futura udi nyanto wase what has happened is say oman bia no o central bank ohia the federal reserves medical share reserves mo
yes
and yesika central bank ne peto economy na chi se ohia dem no ana ye hia obroni sika bia ebetumi akwakofa na ye abebo oman no
so breaking news we in chem into Ghana motion I call UN or to declare the transatlantic slave trade not as the biggest crime against humanity. The resolution has passed in favor 123 and a voting in favor of the resolution. Omo voting against 3 and omo abstaining 52. In the 123 in favor, 3 against, 52 abstained. What it means is that Ghana's motion to get the UN to declare transatlantic slave trade as the biggest crime against humanity, has passed. What will follow? The issue of reparation, and they say Ombemaye Sika Ediatesa ya oneso kakra, and not any the next phase. Wow. We'll see what will come.
Ensure and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say unyamema ne sa da yosono osomu na one ne foreign minister ona boku je to ablakwa omode sa motion ikoe eye ni munyam she bagana Ghana has not become na motion no another na mampenya hodo abenya no manfa motion yanko United Nations he's been a champion on this issue of reparations for a very long time.
Yeah, I know.
Even at the last ended UN General Assembly, I was there with him. He had a lot of sideline events
on
that issue. He's very passionate. Also a historian.
Yeah, or a history will gone.
Or a historian.
Yes.
And he's somebody who really understands that. Now, more in his speech, you best say
but is it not, was it not work in progress? I will take it over to put this motion before the UN.
I don't have that information, but we still give him the applause and the credit for this huge initiative.
Now,
Obi,
in now would stream why Bank of Ghana decided
exactly. Or reserves. So reserves now one. And yes, a good demo say was some no sabosumu. A sika would yes say Asempa and I say Umuchrewa or Bequafadia baby. So ultimately, in his high reserves, no MPP4 connect $9 billion approximately, and by the end of 2025.
$1 reserve,
no. Gold can you can reserves are above or dollars or gold and they will other because the reserves na yesika, but you can keep it in different assets.
Okay.
So it can be in gold, it can be in dollars, it can be in other things. What the one that major say? So Ninina na 8.9 and the MPP and the NDC by the end of 2025 a 13 point something American was $1 billion. But our reserves net down. It be a good, and it be your brunisika dollars. What am I saying? Now, on maybe especially middle income countries, Obia wo susu due bi odi ato was a misika ya dawo as my reserves. Dodo was saying there was a year cash dollars that my account because Bank of Ghana also hold bankers I will save with them or your investment with them. So Dodo was saying so there was a misien will go do. So what am I saying? The general practice is that middle income countries they keep 20% of their reserves in gold.
That's the standard.
The general practice. It is not a rule, but that is the general practice. You can Google it. More Google. You can say at AI Bekachero. That's the general practice. In fact, there are even advanced economies like China, or more or less than 10% of their reserves in gold. Don't want cash. What the point I'm trying to say? But it is believed that reserves need to be gold more, and I'm saying gold because cash will be invested. We invest here, we be 4%, 5%. So, but say your gold net, our gold will be 10%, 15%. Last year, gold cost more than 50%. So the return, when the reserve is in gold, higher. And that is why somebody will say, any of our reserves, and then I won't find too good instead of dollar, because dollar will not give you. But the key thing is a gold, Obroni say, ne buono, volatile. Volatile, say. And ne buono betimi akosoro one day per betimi atia ba from hwi. And it is a middle income country, it is Ghana. Or reserves are wo nyina no. So Sammy Gyamfi betimi ahwe 5 months 5.9 months. And he betimi ahwe. There is a sikana eda woni so. Are you getting my point? Na se sikana dodo na ye in gold wa. Se gold born ba from shia or reserves no so better say bam. Are you getting my point? So Bank of Ghana for a strategic asset allocation analysis sometime 2021-2022. And no say Ghana, middle income country, I buy a reserves is swasano. Usually I buy when I buy reserves I do 5.7, 5.9 months. Can usually a reserves here 3 months. Traditional reserves. Yeah, your reserves was it you keep no gold moon adults were 10%. So the 20% we've been doing in the crown, I was so chain what Bank of Ghana's SAA analysis tells them to do. It's analysis and analysis are they manage risk. So because central bank biano a woman say per returns on the reserves there, but here and pay safety. So but by October, November 2025, no. Na Ghana your reserves are one. Emu ohamu chichemu eduanai mienu 42% enquire gold. Okay, say your reserve $12 billion. Emu 42% your gold. Ena de akani esika. Ena Bank of Ghana for say, hey, ade ya kosoro ehede. Basa yema reserves no do e gold no mu no. Ekoswa na gold no. Share of the reserves no kwa na ekosoro and that gold price be collapse say boom your reserve ni gina be dwiregu. I get my point. Imagine you have 30 tons of gold, 40 tons of gold. 1 ton of gold is 32,150 ounces. So if you have 40 tons of gold, you have 32,150 times 40. You have 1.286 million ounces. Now gold will also take $1,000. They said then I see a fee 5,000 about 4.5. Echo 4,000 put net $1,000 multiplied by 1,000. What will lose over $1.2 billion? Are you getting my point? But gold is volatile and it can happen. Where people said gold is a safe haven asset. I don't dispute that. They said in times of geopolitical tensions and uncertainty, gold will rise. When Trump say or attack Iran, no. Everybody or your good be say, hey, because not Greenland and Venezuela ma gold cost from 4,300 to 5,500 an ounce. And then if say Iran war be ma gold cost to 6,000 and beyond. So when we say is a lot of market analysts never even predicted it. So our risk in Intino and a Bank of Ghana for say as at October, November, na your reserves no 42% ne wo gold no edos no do risky. Say gold bo so tia your reserve ne be pepa just like that. Obi be say oh ne pepa e be back soro. But e be back soro no reserve ne ketu abi. So when you have to fall on the reserves at the time price has slumped, what do you do? Obi so wo nyansa na Bank of Ghana for team. So what then do? You make sure say gold no or reserve no do one you gold one what so kakra. You move it from 42% to bare 20%. Then you don't stop accumulating, you still accumulate. Cost through too much because you are accumulating the reserve based on in dollars and in gold. So the Bank of Ghana and say your gold net da hono and no cotton convert call dollars and no the dollar no akwa ye investment more interest of 4 to 5%. Now when there was a will be kind of tantan say ya cotton gold edi me wo gold but me freeze the gold now me want a door so dodo enti se gold bo so tia the shock no be the impact will be huge. Into my main temi gold no be so na men fan $dollars. What you say? Na men fa dollar ni nko ye investment. We na man for say yakoton gold edino. And almost say yaton gold no amaye ho. Akwa bi o say gold no kra na yaton ma Ibrahim ne Sammy Gyamfi. Yaton gold aba Ibrahim aba ne Sammy Gyamfi. And na yes sans wa fa chira koton gold no. Asre sem wetie. Central Bank. You can't say Central Bank will go. The only baby go go.
Say it was London mostly.
It was Central Bank, the banker. Dodona was Bank of England.
Yes.
It was City Bank of the United States of America. So what America? Who name City Bank? Now Zango for Robert Minoma Kata Project. You go now, you turn, you almost say you turn by you gold no. Munima make catch. Bank of Ghana sold it.
What was suspected insider trading? Obi were information we no fetch.
We a bomber. We a bomber propaganda. Ko radio so bomber no akọ tusam futuro na gu ne krumfu ani ba ye kwa ye be kwa tene nsem ni nyina o ye propagandist no doctor of economics who nim say nya no kre. The gold was sold to Citibank of the United States of America and BIS, only BIS, Bank of International Settlements. It's a Swiss bank. How can Bank of Ghana for Nessa Bank Swiss? Are they dreaming? Do they know what they are talking about? Now listen, exactly, they bought the gold. And dollars, no, and the other dollar now acquire investment. To say the whole bank acquire fixed deposit, no, and as you can why we are reducing the risk of keeping 42% of our reserves in gold, so that if there is a shock, we will not suffer it. If people say, "Oh, but there wasn't who say gold, but cost something," it's like I'll turn at that price. Let me tell you this: me, I trade gold every day. By the end of 2025, now gold that cost through between 50 to 65%, from about 2,700 in 2024 to 4,002, 4,003. Or majority of market analysts predicted that there will be a correction. Say a bona Ekosii a beba from Ansanso na page bieba ko 55 to 6,000 predicted by JP Morgan and Co. Economic Times and Co. So it was predicted that there will be an imminent correction. And to so be catcher was say gold could do 4-3 no. The predictions were that it will rise to 5.5 or more. On is our prediction without a correction first. All the predictions was that by the end of 2026 it could hit 5.5 or 6,000. So what you say? So it made sense to say at 4,003 you will sell the gold and realize the gains. What am I saying? And it's to go $3,000. Now gold not do 4,003. Obetombi. Now what you realize what they creamy off the 1,003 profits. Now if gold now air for train or what's answer to 4,3 ni go. Say bono cost will do 5,000 you get 700. You still gain. But say at 4,3 1 ton now bono about 3,000. So I increase there by and you couldn't realize that you've lost it. You have to wait for the price to bounce back before you get the gain. But a middle income country like Ghana with 5.9 months of import copper, you can't do that. Are you getting my point?
No, I wanted to ask a question to support you. If the BOG knew some of the international rate of 20% accumulation in gold there, Juma, when you took over, why did they then accumulate 10 more tons?
No, because
well, 10 more tons will mean, say, we are still hitting over 40% in gold accumulation.
No, because BOG will programmer. They are negotiating with large scale mining companies, GoldBod.
Yes.
And they buy 20% of the output of large scale.
Sure.
In the large scale for the GoldBod, gold never yanka say on toyempe. Obeto. But that gold, no. You can keep it as gold or you can change it into dollars. It's the same thing. Are you getting me? So when we say we are building reserves, and you say, yeah, gold, I know. It is both dollars and gold.
Yes.
But at every time, no, what percentage of that must be gold, what percentage must be dollars? Not TV, hamame. So the timing argument, I think I've addressed it. That the timing, what timing are you talking about? The predictions were that there will be a correction. So at 4.3 end of year, you are peaked. You sell, you realize the gain, and then you continue buying at that 4.344, so that if there is any increase again, you get the gain. That is how we do trading. On one can say 3,000 na me to and me say she me dem reform. Do for 3 minto. Me train say be 5. Me train say be 6. Now what one net here? Na just say a tip from boom. Now saying one day go to 11%. One day. Now just say increase now. You see a fini me buy you na wiped out in the day. I just say what train. What do you sat here fee? Now gold your 4,300. Ekosii could do 5,500. So now we gold. And I 1 ton at 5,500. And as the gold because 6,000 intimate ton do 6,000 I'm a ton. Say if 5,000 about 4,500. Say I just would change. That been the best do 5,500 will be. I get what I'm trying to say. So they are not getting it. Central bank and your profit and loss no you. The core thing job safety. Now on argument no the yes the crack of bentel. I mean, I respect this man so much. Now, what's the analysis? And so, why will you sell the gold and still go and buy the gold again to build reserves? Ignorance.
Ignorance is harsh. He's your senior at the bar.
Let me redraw it because he's my good friend. I will redraw it. Not ignorance. I apologize to him, but very unfair. Very unfair. You see, in some way, you inform me who because me gold reserves and your GoldBod na your my gold. I can keep quiet. And sometimes the Democrats say, how why they say we any GoldBod as him. But as the serving communications officer of the party, our President Mahama, I am a Mwademakos sector we know. I have come to know certain things. Okay. Na you go buy any thing, na makama no to say we inform you my hunti Bank of Ghana and be defended. I don't think that if I do that, I've been fair to the president and government. And that is why we offer losses, all those issues about Bank of Ghana, but we offer to educate the public. Gold now. Why I didn't almost say to gold for because you Ghana National Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Program. And you see, you attain 15 months of import cover. Did we say we want to attain 15 months of gold reserves?
No import cover. So
we are building reserves. And today, you see, better ASM gold 2.45 tons a week. Ni akoton the dollars aba. So gold ni inventor as gold dollars. Now you thought 20 to 30% of large scale gold. But our gold ni one. Ebedi and say we exercise the discretion about whether to keep it in gold or to keep it in dollars. Now gold now your Toma Citibank ne Bank of International Settlement, you know. And on the yes answer to there be a small scale miners what Ghana and the CD gold. And the large scale mining companies near the CD gold near the gun wrap. So you don't hear gun wrap and say there is policy inconsistency. We've sold gold to somebody and we are still going to buy that gold. No, that gold has been sold to Citibank of the United States and Bank of International Settlements. It's a Swiss bank. We are not buying it back. But whether we sold that gold or not, we will still GoldBod will still buy small scale gold. Mebuana. Bank of Ghana will still buy large scale gold. Mebuana. If the price go to 6,000, we will still buy some of the 6,000. If the price go to 7,000, we will still buy that. So what are they saying? So there is nothing like Yakoton Ghana gold. No, you converting gold into dollars. OBNDC can you invest it. There is nothing like the timing was wrong. There was a predicted market correction. It made sense to sell at that peak of 4.3, realize again because you know what? 4.3 no, only the air could do 5.5. It was very, very inorganic and artificial. Because you saw it one day, Donald Trump say, up a Greenland. Neto for Greenland, no way, oh. Asempa, and a Greenland tension, Greenland, boom,
gold price.
Yet why as a president Mama Venezuela President Maduro
and President Mahama.
President Trump Venezuela President Maduro. Yes. Who could have predicted that Venezuela and Greenland will happen and because of those tensions gold will rise? And is this why you want to insult a governor? So so we just converted the gold into dollars and it has been invested. The timing argument is a non-starter. Yanto ama kroni bia Citibank and BIS, Bank of International Settlements, and Young Crab Bank. They should go and read about them. And we are not going to buy that gold back. No. And the normal gold purchase program that GoldBod is doing and Bank of Ghana will accumulate. And when we accumulate, we are not necessarily keeping it as gold. Because the small scale one, the chunk, kept in dollars. And the large scale one, also we exercise the discretion to either convert it into dollars or to keep it in gold based on Bank of Ghana for risk management system on what they run your reserves. Maybe
will be 35 more minutes. We have to deal with procurement and sense seminar. GoldBod, the allegation has been that Mama sole source contracts to politically exposed individuals. Some of them at the seat of our nation's presidency. The name Standogbe Eba up hugely in those procurement and GoldBod. Yebeba responded to that, and you also responded to the fourth estate investigative report. After this short break, the next 30 minutes we'll deal with those. Na in common baby. Stay with us.
Ekosiisen bonsoir wa Asempa de brane mamba obi
Masomo Asempa 94.7 FM. Ekosiisen dwumedie no asoguso a wotie no. Ma yana mu nyina se matwen yen amayako asan so ababio. In 5 minutes it would be 6 p.m. Yana lawyer Sammy Gyamfi and a studio our CEO Edema the Ghana GoldBod and yana no AD and Komo. Ba Honorable Linda Obenewa Akwele Oklu or MP for Shayo Sudoku and a Greater Accra Regional Minister, together with the children and family of the late William Desmond Oklu Mubebrinabe Kaina, or a former MP for that same constituency, Shayo Sudoku, and Unyani Nyamefre through, a road accident. Very, very, very sad. I remember. Na Unyani Nyamefre no bear 10 years ini. Ain't Bebrina Freno, Joe Willie in the 10th anniversary celebration program of activities. Day one, Friday, 27th March, which is Ochana Echi Vigil Night, Ebekosu Suomo Jama Group at Lower Post Office, 6:30 p.m., followed by Card Gala, and 9 p.m. Saturday, day 2, 28th March, clean-up exercise with Roman JHS Dodowa, 5:30 a.m. Omuria soccer game because Dodowa AstroTurf, Old Ganata Park, 11 a.m. Live band night at Cheers Pub, 8:30 p.m. Ninyina Saturday. Then on Sunday, anniversary service Mission of God Church Dodowa, 8:30. Celebration at Roman JHS Park, 2 p.m. and a music fiesta at 8 p.m. All are invited. Anniversary service, no, said a Mission of God Church, Dodowa, 8:30 a.m. And an anniversary celebration, no, venue near Roman JHS Park, Dodowa, 2 p.m. Nina Sunday. Music fiesta, Ninsobekoso, Ewo, Roman JHS Park, 8 p.m. King Professor Ni Odaifio Welenchi III, President Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, Ebebebe. His Royal Majesty King Taki Teko Chu II, Gamanche Baby. The Shai and Osudoku Traditional Councils Nina Eba, government officials, national and constituency party executives of the NDC, party faithfuls, and the general public no cordially invited. Anniversary clothes available na Upebia, Fred Jessica and Christy, was 0555 695 959 0555 695 959 Nepe Joe Willie 10th anniversary celebration anniversary cloth ne benanso etwa former MP was Shai Osu Doku, the late William Desmond Oklu ho asem ena yekin. It is Sammy Gyamfi ewa ha ye to ankomo so Sammy GoldBod said ye wo kan no mu take it is a move from Bibiana PMMC one of Bank of Ghana old building no na e was some ma contract we are told say a sole source na company a Standobedia. I mean for everything amoka opposition, why would you do something like that?
Obi me da sepa dedi kan GoldBod yankasa ena yesi agina yese ye bedi mmara so na yama adwuma a o man na de ahye yensa no yama muada ho fine amagana fu nyina ehu de ye de aboa wo man no na omo wo ho nsembise bi o matimi ayeden ebisaye isanse mpanyin se wotimi fita ti amu anyeden enku nti enye sumasi dwadie ne yedi ni GoldBod to be for the first time when a state-owned enterprise GoldBod contract bia ye ne company bi be sign no ye publishing or your website
act ne kase monye sa
yes ne dimra no so many agencies they are required to do that, they don't.
Okay.
We drafted the law, got it passed, we inserted it there, and we have not only
kept faith.
We have not only, stopped at that point, say, emrao, but ye demrani ye chuma. Now, the year publishing, you publish it, change the emrani requires a young publisher. Because the told the baby must see when emrani some publishing and more publisher. Now, Ghana, how ni momoa emrasio munye bibinzo monye. And as Emran see and publisher, Emran say publish the contract. But why do we publish all the documents of the company? It is because we want the public to be able to scrutinize at the transparency.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenya. And on a de pie to me kutia kata session pro. We are the number mudawa and nothing yes ano. Because me will position na abai dada no ye bi na imuna ho. Na kwa say e sumasi ready na me bo machi.
Yes.
Intada ne o man no mampinya da Roma ama me adwuma na me koye adwuma meka se de me ye bia no wodisie eyeden one day be pie. That is why we are being transparent. Enti sa contract a wo ka ho asemi any contracts amanfo ka ho asemi yakoto pickups laptops
yes.
Ni nyina ye contracts are GoldBod ne publish on the website
dada
yes
details of the contract
everything enye obi na akoye nhwehwemu bi ne wakọ hu ade nwanwaso bi dia babonten. That is the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make on the specific issue of head office is enye no krea anye so sourcing ye de emrem ye friend of restrictive tendering. E chere say odi adwuma wo pese wo ye adwuma bi ma o man no na wo pese companies bi a wo mu gidi so metumi aye adwuma no omo mepere enti ye pere. There is competition, there is a tender,
yes,
there is bidding, and among the bidders there is a winner based on a certain criteria what the idea at all for the bid. But answer now betumi use our restricted tendering no I just call Public Procurement Authority koji approval.
Yes.
No more say adwuma na pese we no e qualify for public procurement for restricted tendering. One of the grounds I will be to me the akwa just IS application aji approval to do restricted tendering is a restricted tendering is a me ma will be am pre ba me ma companies miensa at least to insia aba be pre. Back on they say ebi adwuma na wo ye no emra e wo se wo ye no e titia e urgent na se wo ka se wo be ma nipa dodo obi a obi bia be prebia the friend the national competitive tendering na the wo be hwere no e do so kra chen de nka wo benya if you are done that competitive tendering so so what this application e kwa PPA for no mo hwehwem hu se ade ya opese we ye urgent pa na we mami bi se wasemo we GoldBod we adwuma ya ma o my Ghana in 2025 now we say ye pass GoldBod law 2nd April like I told you. Institutional reforms are medical chichrimu. New departments, new directorates, new units, new workers from 100, a workforce of 100 by PMMC to over 450. Ufri says I diner your friend a Diamond House pa Kwame Nkrumah penswa ye no. I mean I think it was in the 60s. Ufri says I diner na e accommodate nipa 100 no. Nipa 450 bekum etimi ayeduma.
No, it's not like
enti what fast adwuma yefo we nyina no. Omo bebe adwuma na obi agina bonten. Obi ani ba bi obetena be adwuma. Me ba just adwuma wo enti se wo se GoldBod kope office. Na wo siesie won tem se na be adwuma yefo benya ba bi atena. Na ye adwuma so a man de ahye yensa intentem so a. Me ba just had na agent and na agent.
a agent in a way, yes. But this is the same officer na Bank of Ghana.
So first of all, the agency
is established.
Yes, to get office accommodation for a newly incorporated public corporation.
Yes.
With a critical mandate of generating foreign exchange to save the economy at the time.
Yeah.
What you say? Are you going to be paying all these workers every month when they cannot be productive? Almost all months will be because only baby on Bayajuma. Okay. And it is clear that baby ani one and so. Na mepa ebe to me minister was minister you say high because Kroma your state institutions baby wo high nine so ebe to thousands of dollars so nim.
Sure.
But yes on so ye ho adwuma afi na ayate
Asempa
o say bibi ankakra nti yes Bank of Ghana for head office siwa almost your mum pay biem because a dino apparatus ya say ye be kwa kofani ayi ni yatrem obi reject no and who kromo na Bank of Ghana for chiri mu say o mama structural engineers aye audits e wo dino ho to assess the integrity of that old head office.
Yes.
Na dino kwa baby krake a danger a dangerous nipa betre meboa omaka say fit for human habitation. That is why omaka so mokwa kwesi omu new head office. Do you remember that?
Yeah, don't come on about.
And I've seen the structural engineering reports.
Test, no?
And obi patch na bra me do be kwa ko some portions of the building. Ebi wa the ceilings and the columns are coming off. Because that didn't need a team. But Bible say when you mean ho kwan enye nyina na ye esefataye. Ufiti preko pepo si amojaba. Afi ni aba. Say ya fe ba ko mienu kra. Yensonson ye ho kopem say ye ho beso ye ho so a ye bitumi enya baby papa eye ya nkasa ye dia. Na ye nkonkotua rent emma ankrankri bia emma omega na sika nya de enhye. Ti ye ko Bank of Ghana ho omonfa rent ye enye free. Me no cause Bank of Ghana dan ye car ye negotiate per square meter biano we are negotiating between 70 to 140 Ghana cedis. That is where the negotiation is. So it is rent. Now building obi timwa why na been say building angaza no enye dada emite the structural integrity test. No more mutimu so why o ma been say ye tu akọ krofoforo no so Yako paradise. Obi says our building no be kobu no na emute bi atese. Obi when that project na ye renovation ye people don't even know. And I tua contractor no crack kan one interim certificate pen ye tua ni bibi we've not even paid him the full amount.
But the total
contract na ye I will publish on our website the pictures of the building then and now. You we have to take off all the ceilings, the air conditioning system, old, the electrical systems, change everything, the ceilings, the work we have done, the flooring, baby ana so leaky, baby ana ho cracks, in konya, all those things, and just small works. You call PPA, the approval we were seeking was for to do the renovation works at 12.6 million cedis. Correct Ghana no any contract no. Or any contract with a bid of about 11.2 million. It is contract and a crab bid no none full. Chain PPA approval na yenya.
But what of the other companies are winning no? No more boy.
They didn't win not only because of cost but other issues of eligibility near there. The evaluation report is there. Will be there RTI and our part. We can give you the evaluation report of the entity tender committee. Even though I'm the chairman, I did not even participate in any of those meetings. So from evaluation committee to entity tender committee, then the decision was taken. So it is also essential to know, sir, the building was in a deplorable state. We could not have just moved in. And the suitability of the spaces to even our structure, you have to work on it. What the one that so you have to do renovation, and that job is urgent. You have to do restricted tendering, and within a PPMI approval and contract na the contract sum was more than 1 million cheaper than the approval we got from PPA. So somebody comes out and say, yeah, so sourcing, and you say, yeah, so sourcing, yeah, restricted tendering. I've almost said so and restricted tendering. Penny say, boy, So saying there is no tender. Nipa ba open now selecting out their manner. Restricted tendering there is actually competition and tendering among 3 to 6 companies. So what are you talking about? It cannot be the same. Then they change the argument. Almost say, oh, your correct documents now GoldBod and Casa publish it. Now you who say company no rene and correct no. Eda or they ne bid eba no. Sa letter now the forward day in the tender no at the break GoldBod they dated 1st July or so. Na however no how works and housing certificates almost a can second. Internet is the time omo tender buy you know. Omo no money works and housing certificate are valid. And
also a condition precedent for you submitting your
no bid. No correct. Ono community ase because obi emma ye breaches of tender requirements are fundamental within the HR contract.
Yes.
Section 22 of Public Procurement Act as amended. Go and read it. There are certain breaches like Obi and Fa document where it doesn't go to any material. You have to give the person the time. It is a Obi and Fa works and housing certificate and macro. You have to give them the time to correct it. It don't necessarily mean that they won't win. And no one because your requirements need to be professional, technical, and no uni.
They go to
yeah, per se you say oh quantity surveyor with my I adwuma no engineer say na wuni bia wuni no material. But say me was certificate na wu. Na bi kra makotu esika me the receipt attach enyam you must be given the time to bring it. Obi no bit me disqualify because of that. It is there in the law. Only time it can be read it in natural, but that is another day stop.
But are you
hold on.
Some say other companies now omwenyano. The things that disqualified them, no, now a material,
and the evaluation reports are there.
Even though some of them had a lower cost than
nobody had a lower cost than Koreka. Koreka had the lowest cost. They had the lowest cost, even lower than our cost. And I'm saying that so number one, so nobody works and housing certificate doesn't invalidate their bid. But in this case, they had, because the bid closed on the 2nd and they brought their tender document, they submitted on the 2nd. And their works and housing certificate is dated on the 2nd. Then work of a letter, there is no received stamp on it. Said letter dated 1st. So it means it was submitted on the 1st. Masa same way what be that. You can write a letter on the 1st, but you can submit it on the 10th. And I remember. So is it right for somebody to say because the letter is dated on the 1st, it was submitted on the 1st? Does this make sense? Where's the logic? And you have people who have been in public office before arguing like this. It's so pathetic. So we have told you, if you look at the evaluation report, you will see that the date of the submission, received procurement unit, everything was on the 2nd. And on the 2nd, they had their valid certificate. Assuming without admitting that they didn't even have it to not invalidate their bid because it is not material. So, almost a source and yes, source and almost a source and restricted tendering a pay and your pay. Then they have come to works and housing certificate. No money be assured, said they had it and they submitted it with their tender documents. Now the new argument is conflict of interest. I say, now you know me, I'm going to conflict of interest. I say, now be. I was a education power. What is conflict of interest? Legal education. Article 284, 1992 Constitution. A situation where the personal interest of a public officer conflicts with the performance of his official duties. It is where your personal interest is conflicting with your official duty, and then you find a conflict of interest. It is a meme Sammy Gyamfi. Make be a company. Na Miami award company a contract the Miami company is conflict of interest because me personal interest or company anymore. And I may also me sense official duty be was me perform ma aban no. So if I have a personal interest in the company, there is a conflict. And no crano, it is not banned. The constitution and the law allows me. The law on conflict of interest in Ghana allows me. Submit me the contract number me. What was me yarn say me declare
we interest.
Declare me interest. The company with me interest. We no. even when there is conflict, if I declare it, that conflict is mitigated. And then if one declare, now the contract any friend conflict of interest. And as Mr. Sandobe, we are deputy chief of staff. Procurement are state-owned enterprises. I want to show us when a woman who approver. Now I also want a company a bid for contract. Yes. Now I want approval. That is conflict of interest. And I'm a boy. Now Sammy Gyamfi mama me ho contract. And I'm Mr. Sandobe. Procurement are state-owned enterprises, including GoldBod and national say. He almost almost say deputy chief of staff for HR. He is the deputy chief of staff for operations. He is always with the president. What power, role, official duty, or what? A man oversight over procurement.
Hold on. He holds any influencer or what? That influence.
So what influence does he have over procurement process? Obi, Emrebi Organa say, so a private company.
Yes.
Now be ye abemu penny one day. O private company no guno na ban and say unti bin kopere abanju mebiana. Emrebi woza. Nyanto ba say.
Emrebi ni hosta.
Sandogbe obi ni company da be. Sometime I believe 2017. Everybody knows Sandogbe has been doing construction. Wababem were declared the company as part of his assets, but he has withdrawn from the day-to-day management because that company, Koreka, is not even owned by Stan; it's owned by two companies, Wezo Holdings Limited and another company.
Yeah, but Stan
Wezo Holdings Limited, not understand who interest. And when declares he is not involved in the day-to-day administration.
Flip the coin, assuming this was 2023.
Let me end.
Okay.
There were many MPP people who were doing business in government. What is a conflict of interest? Say you can conflict of interest about Kenoforia ta. You did catch say, oh, you're finance minister. Now what kofa wa juma you quote data bank. Say wa appointed as transaction advisor.
Say honors what
me. Say oh ko bobo scienti data bank eme24. Omo meye book runners na tu omo ka.
We declare
when. Chere me baby o declare in all those transactions. No. Enti Sammy Gyamfi made the contract come me company. Then you equate it to the Kenoforiata no like I say my may display double standards and I'm a hypocrite. Me nye the Kenoforiata ye ni bi. Me nye the stand you can say Brian Champon ye ni bi. If we say Brian Champon no ye minister and our cause or talk hotels bi. MPP for NDC for a conflict of interest. You see, compare oranges with oranges and not oranges with apples. The decision to sell those hotels was a cabinet decision. And Brian Champon was a cabinet minister and was sitting in cabinet when that decision was taken. And did not declare his interest in acquiring those hotels. I was saying, Toman and Ovanya work and pay. And you offer hotels and you work and pay over a long period of time. And to say no, you can conflict of interest because you can't be a cabinet minister, sit in cabinet, take a decision to sell hotels, and go and bid to buy the same hotels on work and pay basis. Sammy Gyamfi, makaza mekwa koto abanya de bi work and pay. And I made the contract bi amame ho. And as Sandobe, wa the contract amane ho. Contractor here tender only to influence any oversight, any control. And a company a year owned by another company owned by him. Aqua tender. In the Brian Champon one, in all the tendering processes, Brian Champon was involved. He was holding meetings. Sandobe, I went to the procurement office. I went to check because all these things, as CEO, you have departments that handle it. Tell me at this point.
When you
he was not even involved as a person in any of the evaluation meetings or in the process in any way. So where is the conflict of interest?
When you read Article 284, a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts.
Yes.
Or is likely.
So show me the likelihood of the conflict.
Of the functions of his
so the functions of the deputy chief of staff, Stan Dugbe, responsible for operations. Yes. How a restricted tender and the company participating in to renovate a government building, how that will conflict with the performance of his duties as Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations.
You don't see any conflict.
Now, who be aka obi who be anteksemra. So also who be so be a Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations. The official functions, no. And the personal interest in a company that has existed for many years going to tender for a government building renovation work. Where is the conflict? Is it the decision maker?
Okay.
So totally false. Now, lastly on this renovation works, say me the two amount for who are the social media, especially being pushed by Ghana Today.
Ghana Today say you know.
Ghana Today Ghana Today MPP social media comment, especially me money didn't cry now. I will not glorify him, but they know themselves. The MPP fake news merchants when here. I'm going to document be about say. Sammy Gyamfi Akoto TV. Have you seen it? 800 Akoto TV 843,000 cedis. And now Yakoto nkonya bi 1 million boardroom nkonya 1 million. Hey, MPP for yi.
No, I'm fa on website
be ana. Me no opposition communication officer 2 terms na enough. Babayachi moment of truth NDC 360 ni e call form ni ekoyesi masa obi. Opposition no say na the omo ye ni omo bono trokenza na ye na ke amapa wo. Omo nya research kakra. E kaso opposition nya no say Sammy Gyamfi boy ya chinti no. Na waban mu a ye beteki a revenge nti as document cry in your time on campaign me abigu ye ho ani ase because me wo ka e ho na me so but at the right time we will come and expose you hwe obi so we be tender for adwuma you say ye kwa renovate Bank of Ghana ya shortlisted 6 companies 3 companies obi ya tender documents ni nti ye be mamo a blank document, a TV, we. Into now we chere prices. That is how a tender is done. So at that stage, contractor no, wako building ni mwana unkumu. Maybe say wako building ni mwana wako unkumu. Unkumu. Onim TV dodo a mube yusu. No. Enyema ni bi wa onim. Inti obema definite quotation. Enyema ni bi wa onim. Inti tender mrana man on say obema provisional what quotation. Into already furniture and equipment, general fixtures. We know they are not even reading it. Allow a provisional sum for boardroom furniture. Say Yakoto furniture 1 million cedis.
Allow a
provisional sum. Allow a provisional sum for office furniture. 500,700. Allow a provisional sum for supply of smart KO-LED 85-inch smart television set and accessories. 843,686. Who read we are now? Waku school now te brofwa. Say Yakoto TV 843,000. The echelene say contractor ne say makotu way fine, but TV is there. Minim dodo wa unhia na minim ne bo. Enti where your provision, there can't be a provision. Just say final, a preliminary, subject to change when I actually begin the works. And contractor, we know, or so say, oh, building we may have TV, sir, I be 12 because receptions a woman you know, conference rooms a woman you know, board rooms, kesiaba mini board rooms, you know, conference room say CEO office enti me hwa omo betumi ahia TVs be say 12 sa 85 in TV no sa mre no ye to ba ko 70,000 kakra da so enti se mema omo 12 a ye be 840,000 but ye provisional enchese makoto enanye TV ba ko na 840 no ye dodo am be free say me renovate dan na wi na ma den mato. And the contractor ne buy 85 no kwanya no koto e because obuy no with the conference room ne so into my 98 inches. When we say auditorium so on my 98 baby o wa we say 85 no kra ne so dodo into my 65 baby when we say 65 so do wa ma 55 enti we re na adwuma na we raise certificates based on actual work done. Now auditors are verified. Now consultant I verify say also the TVs do say na buy 10 inches nini price nini ya hwe supply ampa ebo na wa kotu no so no ye kodwom ni ye kohwa e correct ansa na ya ma approve as CEO ntuaka na CEO assign check ahead ama ya kutuaka CEO ni director of finance assign check. So you make the payments based on actual work done certified by the project consultant and sometimes even your auditors. So it is not the provisional sum and yedituaka. They should read kakra. And the provisional sum didn't say yekoto TV bako 843. Now our Bank of Ghana now ye trade room nkwa TV senable. Now we dan kakraka we are. Now auto multiple TVs of different sizes are. You will make a provisional sum. Are you getting my point? Yeah. So Yakoto TV 843 ayantro. Number 2, Yakoto furniture boardroom. The Yaka boardroom. The contractor at that stage of tender doesn't even know the number of boardrooms. So in our tender document we say boardroom, but when you money we are not the number. What you say? So we have a big conference room, a smaller conference room, the main 30-member boardroom, other mini boardrooms. No. Contractor na finishing in the work he did there in terms of furniture, the claddings, the tables, the chairs, and the money he provided is provisional. So obe bele or the certificate no the actual bed they are certified here. So all the figures they have thrown out. I think we have done justice to this issue. Let's move on.
We're on the Koreka,
head office. There is no sole sourcing, no conflict of interest, no breaches of the Public Procurement Act. We went to PPA. We justified the use of restricted tendering. We're giving approval. We did the tendering. We've awarded the works. The contractor is delivering it timeously. He is almost finalizing. The certificates will come. Consultants will certify actual work done. Auditors will do their work. Payment will be made, and we will publish everything, including the state of the building as we took it and the state now. And you will see the value of money.
Will it be the same explanation for the laptops?
Oh no, laptop they will be. Emra says okoto ade na ade no nipa ba akope ne wo bia ye yesu source.
Yes.
Ya fa directors ejuma. Omoni omu deputies over 15 of them. Omo be adwuma omo tewo because company ma omo laptop. E was here koto laptop mo be adwuma. Wo na wo yes Sammy Gyamfi how the 4 months and 3 months be competitive tender na dia koto laptop no. Answer na directors na ye adwuma na bosu me bi omo GP. Answer me. Answer me because on faithful be no more CEO. Ebi ana also mission come. Ebi also be CEO. So if you were in my shoes and you have employed directors drawing salary and the company must give them tools to work, including a laptop. Ube kwa competitive tendering for 3 to 4 months as an water laptop no. And a laptop na ye kotono. Sa I call the no. At the time, only one company had 15 copies of it in their stocks. All those who had it, no one had 15. Kompu Ghana, all of them we checked at the time, nobody. So the law says, Adiano, open temwa yeniso sourcing. Because a car, if you want to do competitive tendering, a door so change fast if you do the competitive tendering. Because precious man hours will be wasted by these directors because they don't have a laptop and yet they'll be drawing salaries. A waste of the public purse. Then, Adiana Okakotono so no nipa ba akopene wo ebi at that number. Enti yen China man for nko krebi mraga na nza ne akoye de. Almost yen before come in almost laptop 25,000. Laptop even more than 50,000.
Laptop.
This laptop we bought. Yes,
and your laptop a GoldBod be here from administration.
No, but the laptop we bought, the specific
documents.
The laptop we bought, the specifications are listed. Because they're very portable, you can convert it into a tablet, and we want the directors to have that flexibility to work. And ye bona ye toy, 500 cedis cheaper than price I ton of shop. Now, it is a mayor so sourcing. Now, directors nenya had any time, no my ye juma. Now, GoldBod, the team ye achieve the $10.8 billion coming into the economy. $1 dollar above from CD Gina Yas Anyama Winina. Now may no at a cheaper price. Enya de papa. The America say in opposition because it ya so sourcing be no be abuse the we sikentino. Say and then me a CEO of GoldBod. Now me director sepa. I should spend 3 months doing competitive tendering to buy laptops for them. Does that make sense?
Yentie voice way.
No. I vehicles no. Vehicles na sana wa call voice so. Omonam eno master so ko post to be say. Yakoto pickups, so sourcing. All these contracts I directed for the Corporate Affairs Department to publish. So it is to our credit. And you'll be an alcohol bibia. Obi Mizanzo be bube. Wo na why you CEO of GoldBod. Go smuggling equal me. Dollars was a banner the boy economy nya. The economy is stressed. You have been given a job to raise foreign exchange for the economy and bring about recovery and stability. The key ingredient of your work is enforcement. Say man for be dimra so smuggle nina. So you need a task force. You have a task force of 120 people. Busumi bi uti omoka. Joma ma inaugurate your president 7th of July. By August omutifie because yenya cars ma omo. Because national security I say omo be ma asoja for near police for ne cars. No metime corporations are fight smuggling no. Omo so muni cars ni bi. 1 month task force ni tifie. Now wo company will sika for koto cars obekwa ko competitive tendering for 3 to 4 months and sana wa koto cars no na 3 to 4 months ni nyina na gold ni go otwen ho gold no almost small ni go otwen na when we car ye toma for national security operations ye turn competitive tendering car and on the operations e koche criminals anybody can put a tracker in it or an explosive in it or anything in it no we say national security to cars among tax force are competitive tendering. So the security consideration of it and the urgency of the cars for task force operations to fight smuggling will not allow any sensible person to waste 3-4 months to do competitive tendering. You will go and buy. Now the good news in pick up Toyota Hilux 2025. Your Tobacubia 674,000 cedis. Go to Toyota and check. At the time we bought our Toyota Hilux, 674,000 cedis. Not Toyota Hilux, na yesay. Ours was cheaper. Check other bobo companies. Swiss, check other car sellers. So omunim di omoka. This issue about almost say make can be about so sourcing. People know it. You don't have to play the tape. People know it. Let me deal with it.
The question is that I want to ask Sammy Gyamfi, the contract that he claimed was awarded to Dr. Bawumia's brother. Was there any conflict of interest in those contracts?
No,
because who raised it as a major corruption issue.
But we didn't say Bawumia the contract and Ninuya into a conflict of interest. Yeah,
but I said sole source into corruption.
No, Obi, but your team here, pa. Because Bawumia don't award the contract, no. Any man you know, GoldBod na
yes.
So where is the conflict of interest? What we spoke about, and I say, Bawumia. Yeah, man, contracts. Contracts are the money now, the money so sourcing. Ebini Sunyane Airport rehabilitation so sourcing. Cocoa Rose, and Yabako, Mienu Miensa, so sourcing.
Allowed in the law.
Yes, TMA. But no, not in fact, all the TMA. But so sourcing, I had a man on Auditor General Akoya Wushemu. And our Auditor General say contracts no had been ne buono.
Yes.
Ye dia mo miensa enya Sammy Gyamfi ne kan e Auditor General of Ghana. And I may say Bawumia nua benefited from inflated sole sourced overpriced projects. And I made a press conference and I made a NDC 360 and I made a bonechi. Me ba cho why na ye bi we NDC mu na me monechi. Why na the contract be ama sole sourcing na ya audits. Now audit and say the contract was inflated.
That's something the audit be
me ba to tie me enti twa ba na de aba na maka bia boa. Na manka bia moa wa waka say me hypocrite. But say the unia dance bia. The mere use of sole sourcing does not connote a crime. If due process was followed and approval was given by the PPA and the project meets the requirements of sole sourcing, boni bia nim. And then this young canny baby that's a way so source MPP for the when they were in opposition first. So sourcing means stealing. and they came and made sole sourcing the norm instead of the exception. No, TNA.
The norm.
Auditor General, the performance audits our on cocoa rows. Paragraph 61. TNA. Na Suleiman Abraham I won't TNA. I want to watch me video and also Sammy Gyamfi can weigh about sole sourcing.
NDC 360.
They na make any press conference. They na make about sole sourcing, you know. Was not just because the sole source Yamaba contract. It was because Auditor General established at paragraph 61. Listen, Cocoa Board, I quote the Auditor General. Cocoa Board indicated in its request letters to PPA for approval for single source procurement and restricted tendering that the works on the cocoa rows were urgent, that the contractors selected were in proximity to the project locations and had experience in executing similar works. The reasons adduced by Cocoa Board to the Public Procurement Authority for approval for single sourcing and restricted tendering did not meet the requirements of the Public Procurement Act. This is the Auditor General. Cocoa Board indicated in its request to PPA that the works were urgent, but did not indicate the conditions necessitating the urgency. 62. For 8 of the 35 road contracts, which Cocoa Board provided records of start and completion days, we found that all had gone beyond the expected completion days as shown in table 6, showing that it was not urgent. 19 63. According to the PPA manual, okay, let me read the relevant portion because of time. The experience of the contractor for the... Okay, let me read it 63. According to the PPA manual, the proximity of a contractor to the location of the road project is not a factor for single sourcing or restricted tendering. The experience of the contractor for road works is a requirement for all procurement rules. Not to a choices, so sourcing approval was illegal. That is what the Auditor General is saying. It did not conform with law. And I said, notwithstanding PPA approved all Cocoa Board's request to use single source procurement and restricted tendering. Our analysis showed, TNA, that the cost of works procured using sole sourcing and restricted tendering were more than those procured using national competitive tendering, even though national competitive tendering took more time and resources to evaluate. Conclusion: Cocoa Board did not rigorously analyze its procurement option for value for money, but sought approval from PPA for single sourcing and restricted tendering, procuring contracts that were up to three times more expensive that they could have obtained through competitive tendering. So Suleiman Abraham, oba ye now say, I was saying Kaonobu Kwame Goja Kwaya Kwai. Now we used to competitive tendering, but wakoye ni nyina so sourcing reasons or the come PPA man the kwanta onko ye so sourcing no. Enye no na mmara no ekire into wani mmara no so. Oni PPA nyina eti amra no so. Ekwan na okwa no so no de toto ekwan a ye de competitive tendering aya. Ekwan na odi so sourcing ye no ne bo no ye be twice or thrice as much the price of ekwan a ye de competitive tendering ye den ya. And as Sammy Gyamfi ma be defend Kwame Abuja and was Sammy Gyamfi oye nya atwemni. Ba wo ba ya was ye big push project. Na dodo na no ye de so sourcing na ye. And I was saying the so sourcing na ye ya. Emra be na obi ato.
Yeah, but Emra obi anto mra, but President Mahama Eka said he was not referring to Auditor General's report. But they say the word Gyamfi Sammy Gyamfi side don't copy the mama. Sammy Gyamfi the night collapse. Mom was Sammy Gyamfi did not do a blanket condemnation of so sourcing. He premised it on will not be the norm,
yes,
but the exception. And an analysis of the contract this shows and Minister 44% of major contracts is so
now 44% of anything. How can that be the norm? And in this now me this 56% may competitive tendering. Now 44% is so sourcing. 44 and also change 56. Obi Asempa na okay. Ministry Kronano, other road projects or mama across the country 400. Ni nyina the competitive tendering na ye.
And no your percentage saying of all the road contracts.
No crime the 44 no is 44% of the major roads. Yes. 139 projects.
Sure.
139 no amiti no PM Express. And on a 44% yes so sourcing. 400 na kano road repairs na sa nyama ni na competitive tender no de beka ho a so sourcing no 5% kra. In the year then na present ma some can say so sourcing will be the exception not the norm. No Kwame Honorable Kwame Abuja Wabuso. I am trying to. You see, people. You see, in a country where there is good governance, there arise starvation of scandals. Scandals become scarce. So some civil societies organizations struggle for relevance. And to one way here, as I'm so watching an MPP, ni people that say, "Yako road projects be a so problem be wo." Was Bible say we no want some need be buafo. Say Suleiman Abraham and for first it asem mo de ba no. Omo ma ya dance here say so say na mfulumbra. And so say nti no ya overprice the contract na dance here ma wuse and lastly ma wuse waye bibi wakofa road bi apegoso Impakan road. And I say 164 million and I bind the koye in 2025. Na kilometer no per kilometer near be 16 million tisikane do sondodo. Me pa cho. To conclude that a road project is overpriced, you should be talking about some quantity surveying or some audits or some official report of a sort.
That's fine.
You don't look at a road cost 164 divided by 9 kilometers and then you get the cost per kilometer. Road no Sasikana and any nanya de Yakwayo, wouldn't say Federal Roads headquarters HMB. Wouldn't need na bone as any 9 kilometer per road. Asenso Boache, former Minister for Roads. Bantema rehabilitation of roads. Kwanya what that I was CNCC, you know, 10.5 kilometers or the 162.3 million a year. So should we just look at the figure? Divide that by the total kilometers and say the road is inflated. Suleiman Abraham is somebody I personally respect and love. I have his number. We've communicated and we've collaborated on many issues in the past. I have not changed my position on using sole source, abusing sole sourcing, in flagrant disregard for the law, and using that to overprice contracts and fleece the state. I have been consistent. Once we will do the necessary analysis. And don't say anybody is being hypocritical. Until let's compare like with like
hopefully no say Auditor General's report back on the road.
Oh yes. Now the Auditor General says that the roads were overpriced. Ministry that should not be the case.
We wish you well.
Me back to be free saying 70 in any down. Bank of Ghana for good, no. Procurement, head office, cars, everything be
all right.
All right.
Lawyer Sammy Gyamfi training can Asempa it.